I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My family's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, but then I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the result. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? Is number one Chief Rockin' Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezy. Welcome to the Knicks Morning Drive. Y'all want this party started right. Y'all want this party started quickly. Right? All right. Throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. And if you got some loot and a stick of juicy fruit, somebody say, oh, yeah. What's good, party people? Thank y'all for participating, man, helping me with the thing. I got Coach backstage. I'm going to bring Coach up real quick. I want to do this thing, though. Right? I want to do this thing, though, real quick. I want to say, since we played the Minnesota Timberwolves and since Anthony Edwards likes to talk that ish to RJ Barrett. He likes to talk that ish to RJ Barrett. Let me start this joint off by quoting the great American poet Prodigy. Prodigy says, and this is to you, Anthony Edwards, because I have a feeling, Anthony Edwards, you are going to have a night of 6 for 26 for 17 points against RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish's defense. So the great American poet Prodigy says, there's a war going on outside no man is safe from. You can run, but you can't hide forever from these streets that we done took. You walk around with your head down, scared to look. You shook because there's no such thing as halfway crooks. Good morning, Coach.
Boom, bim.
Bam.
Those are fighting words.
Fighting words, Coach. We ready to fight.
What's up, brother?
We ready to fight. Staying busy. You know it. Just finished up the a short snippet for the audio podcast. Gonna put that out there. Gonna have that on iTunes in a few minutes.
I heard it. I was there, brother. It was good stuff.
Yeah, man. Trying. Coach, we're in a weird place, bro, but I think we have an identity crisis. Who are we, Coach?
We are who we thought we were.
I think we have an identity crisis. I think we think we're one thing. We're actually something else.
I think it was kind of like what you said. It's a mix of, I don't think any of us thought we were a top 4 seed, but
right.
By the looks of how we competed in that Atlanta game, I don't think that roster is significantly better than ours in a competitive standpoint.
Okay.
They got hot at the end of their game,
right,
and beat us. We fell apart. But man for man and player for player, maybe we're only fifth seed ceiling. I don't know. That's better than a lot of people say we were going to be. Now that's just
okay.
me
So their
looking
roster's
at things
not better.
half full.
So you think we have a Trae Young on this roster, somebody comparable?
I mean,
not Trae Young to play. I'm talking about impact, coach. I'm talking about impact.
Oh,
not
right.
Player.
Right now, from the looks of our team, we don't have someone that's going to explode like him or
Maybe
Murray.
not have that impact, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't have a Trae Young impact. We don't have DeJounte Murray impact. So maybe we're not top heavy. Maybe we're even all the way across.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think after that, we're better.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like say, you know how you have that metric where, oh, that team's got the best player on the court, or say they got the best two players on the court against us.
Right.
I think we got the next five after that.
Right. So we may not be
like,
we may not be the 96. We might not be the 96 Nebraska Cornhuskers with Tommy Frazier, but we might be the 96 Florida Gators with Danny Werfel and Jaquez Green. Yeah. Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Fred Taylor.
Yeah. But no, I mean I think we're some bad defensive scheme adjustments away, and other teams shooting out of their minds. Like we're talking about historical team defining shooting nights we've lost to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it took Boston's best 3-point shooting team ever to beat us.
Ever to beat the Knicks.
And it took Cleveland having a historical night shooting to beat us.
So one of the contributors to the channel, Sally, says, no, what you're saying is not true. The Knicks point guard should be moved to shooting guard. He's not an impact player. We need to bring in an impact player. What would you say to that?
I agree we should bring in an impact player, but for the opposite reason, to accentuate him at the one, running this team.
Right.
We need a bucket, a walking bucket guy.
I just mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's like we are exactly.
Great minds think alike. What can I say?
Great minds think alike. Man, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. In the grand scheme of things, I think this team is middle of the road. Too good to be a top 5 lottery team.
Mm-hmm.
Not equipped with enough weaponry to compete with the alphas in the conference.
Yeah.
Not even on our and I'm saying on our best night. And I'm talking about Julius going for 30 and 14, RJ going for 25 on 50% shooting, Brunson getting in the paint. I don't think we beat the Milwaukee Bucks.
Right.
Right. And I'm talking about Milwaukee Bucks on their average night. Milwaukee Bucks on their average night can beat the Knicks on their absolute best night. And the reason why I say that is not because I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm a Knicks fan. I love the Knicks, bro. I love them. Coach, I legit just got off the airwaves early this morning talking about the Knicks. I did an audio podcast this afternoon already talking about the Knicks. And here I am doing a live stream early afternoon talking about the Knicks. Nobody can question Uncle Freezy's loyalty to the Knicks, but I can say this. I don't believe we have enough. And despite the system, because listen, Jimmy Johnson, the great, probably the greatest coach in Miami football history, said it's not about the X's and O's, It's about the Jimmies and Joes.
Joes. Yep.
Right? Coach, I thought you were going to argue with me on that. Is Jimmy Johnson the greatest college football coach in the state of Florida ever?
In the state of Florida?
In the state of Florida. Greatest football coach in Florida and Florida football history. Is he the greatest coach?
I got to give props to Bobby Bowden on that one.
Yeah,
I mean,
he choked in a lot of big games, bro.
Yeah. Well, his kicker did. You know, college kickers aren't too reliable.
Yeah.
But
so you choose
that
him
being said,
over Spurrier? Over Urban
just
Meyer?
overall culture change at a university that was just. I mean, Florida's always been pretty good and respectable, like their history.
Right.
Like FSU was just like a woman's college and a weird, like, stepchild. And Bobby Bowden came to town and built a monster.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Who's the greatest running back in Florida State history, in your opinion?
Florida State history?
Yeah. Amp Lee? You remember Amp Lee?
Yeah, he was pretty good. I mean, Warwick Dunn was pretty good.
Warwick Dunn?
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Warwick Dunn was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. They just always had them kind of solid guys. They didn't have like that, you know. But they were like Miami, though. They always had so many dudes that no guy was really featured, you know.
Right. I would say I'm down on Florida State. I have Florida State ranked as the third best school in Florida college history. I have them behind the Gators and of course behind the U.
Yeah, I mean, history as far as success. I mean, I don't know if FSU had that run. They had the most top 5 finishes in like in a row.
Well, like 17 straight years being in top 5. It was
crazy.
Right? Yeah. But how many national titles did they win? Finishing in the top 5. How many national championships did they win?
I think like 2.
2. Yeah. They're like the North Carolina basketball.
Bridesmaid.
They're as great as the University of North Carolina is, and basketball, and they had Michael Jordan and Vince Carter. Man, Dean Smith only won 2 national championships.
Mm-hmm.
Roy Williams won 2 national championships. Coach K at Duke, that small weird school, won more national championships than Dean Smith and Roy Williams. Right? Chef NYK is in the building. What's good?
Mr. Wooden has that
in one hand
title. Yeah. I mean, he's the GOAT. Period.
Right. So
recruiting and
definitely. Right. So I said that I brought up the championship talk as a distraction, right? Because I felt like I was talking the Knicks down this road of when the Knicks are going to win a championship. And my stomach became queasy because
2 things need to happen.
Yeah.
Could I say who I 2 things I think should happen?
Do you think?
Tibbs got to go.
Oh,
because he's not for this team and for this era. He's just not. I mean, he's not it. And the guy that hired him and brought him in, right. Leon Rose, and this administration failed him.
Okay, all right.
You set him up for failure because you did not set up a Team Thibodeau team for this dude. Now, I'm not knocking him as a coach. I think he's a good coach.
I think he's a good coach and a good person.
Yeah. So I just think he's not. He's stuck in his old ways. He has. We talked about this last night for a minute. He's done everything we've asked him to do.
Yep.
He's changing up the rotations.
Yeah.
He's playing the keys. He's going young. Yeah. All y'all are the same. Play the kids. Like I said in chat during your podcast, our starting lineup was 22, 23, 24, 26, and 27.
Yep.
We haven't gone that young in a minute.
In a while, right? In a while,
Okay, so we're playing the kids.
right?
We asked for that.
Yep.
We asked to play at a faster pace.
Yep.
We're doing that.
Yep.
Now there's another new adjustment we've noticed. Now we need maybe he listens to us. He did all the things we asked him to do.
Yep.
Maybe
All summer we said the same thing.
Maybe Tom Thibodeau is a secret watcher of the Orange Tears Network.
Yeah. He's got a burner account. Tom Thibodeau's burner account is White Falcon 44.
Yeah,
White
is that
Falcon
you, Tom?
44 is Tom Thibodeau.
So, Tom, we're talking to you. Our season and your job depends on this. Find a way to defend the scrub on the weak side, shooting threes.
Right.
Please.
Please
Find a way.
So
Find a way to defend the perimeter a little better. Somehow, I don't know how much better we could defend it. Honestly, I feel like we've been covering a lot of it. It's just that Coach, extra pass three.
The team we're playing tonight is built just like us.
What's that?
The team we're playing tonight is built just like us, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And here are the comparisons. They have a starting center that is totally defensive minded. And we have that. But that center is out tonight due to injury or illness. And so is theirs. They have a power forward that score first. Let's just say it. I don't want to mention defense. Let's just talk to the positives. That score first, right? The Knicks have something like that, right? They have a top 3 pick on the wing that looks to score and establish himself in the league and is very young. We have that in RJ Barrett. They have a point guard that is different. Let's just say it that way. And we have a point guard that is not the prototype either. You feel me? They have a roster full of lottery picks and first-round picks that are trying to establish themselves. We have that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We have that. They give up a ton of shots per game, Coach.
Yep.
We do that. Right? They shoot at about 40-something percent, 44, 43%. We shoot that. Tonight, my feeling is if this team beats us at our game, we may need to change our game.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Because this team is a middle of the pack team just like us. And I mentioned on a previous podcast that we lose to the great teams, we beat the bad teams, we're stuck in the middle. Right tonight, we're playing a team stuck in the middle. And if we lose to that team that's stuck in the middle, what does that say about the Knicks?
Yeah. We're an S or an S plus.
Maybe an S. Maybe. You feel me? And so the reason why I say that I'm asking, where do we belong in the grand scheme of things in the NBA landscape? If it's one of them things where we don't know where we belong, we need to stop what we're doing and establish a clear direction.
These next 5 games, I think, are going to define who we are this season.
Yeah, cool.
Because they're all winnable games on paper.
Based on our conversations.
Yep. We got Minnesota.
Right.
I don't know if they're in a row. I don't have it in front of me. I was going by memory. I know we got Minnesota. We got Brooklyn. I know we got Detroit again, and I know we got OKC and Utah. Dang, well, I don't know how I got it. I don't know how I remember that, but I must care about the Knicks or something.
Yeah, man.
So those are our next 5 games.
Okay.
Next 5 games. I don't know if that's in a row, exact order that I just said. I think it's close. So those 5 games, well, then if you count this one, wait, did I say Minnesota at first? I forget. So yeah, Minnesota, the Nets, Detroit, OKC, and Utah. Those are our next 5 games. We win those 5, or we win 4 out of 5. We're 2 or 3 games over 500. I mean, it's not me being a homer. That's just looking at what we've done so far.
Okay.
Where those teams are at.
Okay.
And if we're an S plus team, we should be winning them games. If we go 2 and 3 in them games, or 1 and 4 in them games, bye, Tom.
Wow. After 5 games? Or I guess it'd be after 14 games.
Yeah.
Because are you including Minnesota tonight? Are you talking about the 5 games after this?
I mean, Minnesota's a push to me.
Okay.
I mean, if it's one of them competitive games and it goes down to the end and Anthony Edwards just went off or something, or Cat went off, one of them 2 went off, and we were in the game and there wasn't many negatives, and they just beat us.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The T-Wolves are the Western us, but with 2 stars that we don't have.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which says a lot for our total constructed rosters, better than our own fan base gives it credit for. Because here we are again with a team that we're talking about production-wise is equal to us, and yet they have 2 stars that a lot of our fans wish we had.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and people say if we had Anthony Edwards, that's all we need left.
Right. But is it though? I think, Coach.
Well, I mean, to be a top 2 or 3 team in the East.
No. I'm saying I agree with your premise. Like I understand where you're going with this, because it's not necessarily what we think, but it's based on what Knicks fans think. If we had an Anthony Edwards, we'd be good as Milwaukee. Would we really be? I don't know. Because the same thing could be said for the Donovan Mitchell scenario. If we had Donovan Mitchell, would we really be good as Milwaukee if we had Donovan Mitchell right now?
Well, we've had a late lead, and late, I say up to halftime.
Right. No, I got
as far,
I got you. You just caught me off guard, but I got
you. Yeah, in all them games,
right?
Except for the Milwaukee game.
Game,
we were in quicksand that whole game, but we got.
But can we give credit to Milwaukee though?
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason they're 9-0.
Right.
So no one's been able to figure them out yet.
No. So nobody.
So the thing is, we are a team that is still figuring each other out in our chemistry.
Right. And systems, right? Communication systems, chemistry, all of that.
Yeah. And the thing is, we're counting on 3 guys in our starting lineup that weren't starters for us last year.
Right.
So it doesn't mean they're not good enough. It means they don't have chemistry yet.
Right.
And I don't care what people say, that is something.
Chemistry matters.
I mean, look at the LeBron, Ray Allen, Bosch thing. They had to work. We're having a better start than they did.
Yeah.
I mean, don't say I'm not comparing us to them.
No, you said we have a big three. We're about to win. Not 2, not 3.
The mid 3.
Yeah.
And when we say the numbers, it's like the seeds, not 6, not 7, not 8.
Not 8. You're right. Right.
No, but I know everyone feels like we got the air left out of them, kind of like that Jason Tatum 3 late in the game at Boston. I really thought we were gonna have when Hartenstein had that nice little dunk back.
Yeah,
we went within 5. I'm like,
the 2-hand flush. Yes.
Yeah, and then they came right down
and shot a 3 dead in our face. Like, get out of here! Y'all thought y'all had life.
I mean, come on, man. You know, and even though the Knicks kept fighting and everything, like that, you could just tell like the air went out of the building.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And the players, you know, I don't care how good you are or how competitive you are. You notice that stuff. You're like, damn, this dude just made a 3. You know, it's just like the timing of some of these are just such.
It's what we call the dagger.
Yeah, these daggers, bro. But it's like a rainfall of daggers, though. It seems like
against Boston, yes.
Yeah, it was just crazy. It was like dagger upon dagger. But
bro,
the thing is, I stand behind. I'm a damn homer, man. I'm a fan. I'm a fanatic of the Knicks. Fan. In case some of y'all don't know the background of the term fan, it means you're a fanatic.
Yeah, it's a Hollywood term. It's a Hollywood term.
Yeah,
about how people used to chase down stars, the Hollywood stars from the 1930s and 40s. That's where the term fan comes from being fanatics of stars in Hollywood. And it transitioned over to sports as sports started becoming bigger and bigger in the United States.
Yeah, and here's the thing. And I think the successes we're having is because of the underrated and underappreciated talent that we actually have on this team.
Where is it, Coach?
Just all of just the roster from
who is it?
All 10 guys in the rotation
are stars.
No, they're not stars. I'm saying they're better than we give them credit for, because that's how we're winning the games we're winning. That's how we're staying. We're being competitive in these games despite of a crappy scheme, like defensively when it comes to these 3-pointers. Because anyone that says we're weak in the paint,
this team is not. Come on, man.
We're not. People aren't beating us in the paint. Period. If people are complaining about our defense and all this stuff, we're giving up a lot of. People are shooting volume against us. Right. The shots that are going up, we're defending. We went over this with a graphic last night.
Coach, can I just sum up what it is, just in a nutshell?
What?
Basically, what it is we are shutting down good teams, but you can't give good teams multiple chances to score.
Right.
Basically, that's it. In a nutshell.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, you can't give these good teams multiple chances to score. You can't give the Boston Celtics 100 shots, you know what I'm saying, at the rim. You just can't. You got to hold Boston to about 85 shots, bro. When you give the Boston Celtics 100 shots, you're asking to lose.
Yeah, I mean, we got to do 90-foot defense or something.
Yeah, Philadelphia almost beat us. You know why? Because we gave them so many chances to knock down shots. Mm-hmm. The only reason, to me, in my opinion, the savior of that Philadelphia game was Cam Reddish.
Yeah.
They had shots on the perimeter, but Cam Reddish was in their face like the Matrix. Coach, the missus just got me a delicious salad, bro. You see the cucumbers in there and tomatoes and
Nice.
spinach. I think she likes me or something.
You're blessed, my friend.
Yeah, man. Very.
But
hey, Miss Mocha.
But hey, and like I said, don't get it twisted. I'm not satisfied. I'm not happy with where we're at. I think we should be better, a lot better. I demand better. Okay,
Right.
we have a problem defending the extra pass,
Right.
and we have a problem defending the perimeter.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
and when I say defend, I'm not talking about just contesting the early threes, because some of those threes they're making are just ridiculous. We did cover some of them.
Right.
When we notice teams are shooting like that against us, we need to start doing some half court press kind of stuff or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather these teams drive by us.
Do you have the personnel to do half court presses though?
No, we don't have enough on ball pressure defenders to do that properly, unfortunately.
Right.
So, and for all the haters out there that just are just cut and dry, black and white, I don't think like that when it comes to sports, because there are gray areas. Okay,
right.
there are a lot of gray areas everywhere. Not all of us are all white. Not all of us are all black.
Right.
Not all of us are all brown or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Neither are the topics.
Right. It can't be. Oh, we're good or we stink. It ain't about that.
Okay.
It's about we're not good enough, but we're not the worst. It don't mean that I'm happy with that.
Okay.
But I'm just happy that there are pieces on this team, and this is what I choose as a fan, and no one's going to tell me how I'm going to fan. You know what I'm saying? I choose to be happy that we have some pieces to build around and build with. I'll say I'm not saying just around, but we're on an upward trajectory. I like where we're at and the assets we have to make another couple moves, but not blow everything up like everyone wants to say. Like there's only a couple pieces left to blow up.
So who do you keep? Who would you mind going, and who would you mind keeping? Like who's got to stay in your opinion?
To me, and I know OB fans are gonna hate me for this, but I like the things OB's doing offensively this year. I'm still not happy with his defense. He's a liability, and I'm not happy with his rebounding. He needs to go back to the lab and become a 3. That's how he's going to save his career, personally. So, anyway, with that being said, Fournier, Obi, IQ, and Mitch. I'm talking about if we get upgrades from those 4, and obviously D Rose, which I think D Rose in his limited minutes has played well. He's done all we've asked of him in his limited minutes he's been playing. But for his salary or whatever, but all the guys I didn't name, there's something to work with. Now, if some of those guys get lesser roles because better players come in, I'm fine with that. I just don't think we should just get rid of RJ or get rid of Randall just to say get rid of them. Because you got to think about what we're getting in return.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but the ones I mentioned, IQ, the players that I don't care if they come or go are Grimes, IQ, Mitch, Obi, and Fournier.
Okay.
They're not a factor in our wins and losses to me.
What do you replace them with?
At least 3 of those replacements need to be a viable and at their position, a 3-and-D type person. We need three of those positions need to be a versatile player that can play like a long.
Is that player on the roster right now?
We only got one. We got one guy built like that. Is Cam Reddish.
What about Farron Hunt?
Farron Hunt's kind of built like that, but he hasn't had a chance to.
And he's lighter, and he's like, man,
Yeah.
he's like 20 pounds lighter than Cam Reddish, which is disturbing to me.
But to me, another we need a versatile big man, like another one that has kind of Hartenstein skill set, like the whole just a defensive 5 that gives you no offense. Sorry, that's dead. That's an old NBA thing. I like Mitchell Robinson. He's got value. He's great. He's a good guy. All that stuff, but that you're not winning playoff games. And I'm not saying Hartenstein's the answer too. I just like Hartenstein. His energy. He's a positive player. In the end, he's going to be a great rotational big man on any competitive team because the energy he brings. He'll eat some fouls. For us right now, we got to count on him for some stuff.
I disagree with you, big dog. I think Hartenstein's a starter. And I know you're not in the Hartenstein hive. I know a lot of people not in the Hartenstein hive. I am there. I like what Hartenstein brings to a team. Right? I like the energy. Right? What I'm asking though, Coach, ultimately is, are you getting rid of players to make room for players that are already on the roster, or are you packaging these guys to go value shopping?
Nah, just to see what we can get.
Value shopping, basically.
Yeah. I mean, get whatever we can get at this point. And then if we don't get anything in return, then McBride and Sims and Farron Hunts of the world are going to get some playing time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And we got all them other assets, all them draft picks.
Right.
So.
Right. Right. I'd like to see Miles McBride get some time.
Yeah.
I like to see him get some time. I'd like to see Farron Hunt get some time.
Yeah, but if anyone wanted to put me in order of those 5 I mentioned,
we're not putting coach in order. Hell no, we're not putting coach in order.
No, I'm saying like the number 1 is Fournier is number 1.
Oh, you mean establishing a pecking order?
Right,
guys, you want to see? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Fournier is the 1. IQ is 2.
Okay.
Grimes is 3. Obi's 4. Mitch is 5.
Okay.
That's just if anyone wants to know what my importance of who's not their worth is.
Where's Tibbs at in this?
Tibbs is 1A. And Fournier is 1B.
Wow.
Yeah. And I don't know. So I think White Falcon is Tibbs.
White Falcon is Tom Thibodeau.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, because to me, anyone that justifies IQ at this point, the only thing that IQ is saving grace is, like I said, he's been doing other things since the shooting's not well. Like I said, his assists and rebounds, he's helping there. Right. And actually, I've seen a lot better defense from him, like his defensive energy and all that stuff.
Right.
I mean, if he comes or goes, whatever. I mean, he's just a bench guy, but an upgrade, I wouldn't mind. And so for the people that are upset or think I'm crazy for saying I should keep RJ, I'm not saying keep RJ or Randall because they need to be our best players, and they're irreplaceable. I think RJ and Randall can be the best third or fourth option in the league.
Right.
If we had a viable 1 and 2 out there.
Right.
Like, imagine this team if we had, Devin Booker and with them two. You know what I'm saying?
But why is it that
people talk about Cat,
But Coach, why is it that we always go big game hunting for other players on other teams, and we can't just groom our own big game?
Because number one, I think they need to rename the lottery, because the lottery isn't the lottery. Because when you get a top 10 pick or whatever, a lot of those guys tend to be solid, more or less. But some of the best players in the league right now were that lucky quick pick that won the lotto, like the second round pick, the Jokic's of the world, the Giannis's. They got picked later than the lottery. So really, those teams won the lottery. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, they had a pick later in the draft and got gold.
Right.
So I want to say we haven't been in that sweet spot for making a pick like that, but really the sweet spots are everywhere. It's just hitting the right one.
Right.
We've talked about this before over the summer. The Knicks just haven't hit. We haven't hit a home run with our picks. We've had a lot of ground rule doubles and infield singles.
What is Obi Toppin to you? What is Obi Toppin to you? Is Obi Toppin a hit?
I mean, at the draft pick, we got him, and with his college success, he's a letdown. Like he didn't advance his game, and part of it's our own fault for not, because the last two hired draft picks we've had, Obi and Barrett, we have not put them in a position to be counted on right away, like some of the other early draft picks on other teams. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like Obi, we didn't come in and start Obi.
Okay.
We didn't come in and hand RJ the keys.
Okay.
The other franchises that picked up early round picks started early. They were handed the keys to the franchise early.
Okay.
Like the way we developed our draft guys, the early draft guys is just piss poor.
Okay.
So.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. It's just we haven't been hitting on our picks, bro. And then when we do hit on a little something, we don't. It's one thing to be given seeds to grow. Like, you can give me a handful of tomato seeds or whatever, and I'll start me a tomato garden.
right.
But if you don't tend to that garden and water it and give it some good sunlight, they ain't gonna grow into nothing.
Yeah, if you don't cultivate it, right?
Yeah. So I don't know. We got a bunch of dudes with black thumbs around here as far as gardening goes.
Right.
Because we have a garden, Madison Square Garden. It's a good analogy. And right now, our garden needs some tending to. Because I think we have some pretty good seeds.
Right.
We just need the right farmer.
I'm going to question that, Coach, because I'm going to question that.
All right.
Because we hadn't had a breakout guy. What draft pick has been a breakout guy for us? A guy that came here and took the league by storm.
Patrick
Earned his
Ewing.
minutes. Earned it, yeah. That's 37 years ago.
Yep.
I think that's Joe. Joe, are you connected? Can you hear
What's
us,
up, Joe? You're on mute, buddy.
I don't think he's connected. I've been trying to hook him up, but I'm just gonna. I hadn't seen his Avi either. D'Angelo says our garden is filled with weeds, not seeds.
Oh yeah, we definitely got some weeds.
Oh, here's your competition, bro.
Sally, competition. That's my boy, bro. What you talking about?
What's going on?
What's up, Sally?
Hey man, ain't no competition here, guys. I'm just a guy with the seat at church, listening to the preachers.
Pew.
Yeah, pew.
Pew.
I'm in the pew listening to the gospel of the New York Knickerbockers.
Yeah.
Coach. So I just want to push back a little bit on what you said, not to be. Hey, Joe, if you watching, bro, I was trying to connect you, but for some reason it's not something. It's not coming in as normal. Let me put it like that to Joe, man. Joe, it's not coming in like it normally does for some reason. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and we can't agree with each other all the time. People think we're gonna be in cahoots.
There we go. What's up?
There
Joe?
he is.
What's happening, guys? How we doing?
Hey, sorry about that earlier. For some reason, it just wasn't coming in like normal,
going, brother?
I thought it was my connection, so I just checked out and I logged back in.
Oh, okay.
It might have been me. What's happening, guys?
Hey, nothing to it.
What's up, Joe?
Oh, not much, man.
How you feel about this roster, man?
Oh, bro, you know where I stand with this roster, man. I'm on about firing Tibbs and blowing the whole thing up.
Yes, I love it. I'm like the Joker hiding in the alley, just wanting to set the car on fire.
Yeah, I'm kind of sitting here like it's hard to want your team to lose. Like the only time I've ever had that was when the Zion sweepstakes was in. But now I'm starting to get to that place where it's like if we lose some games, Tibbs might get out of here and we might be actually be able to build this thing right then.
Well, that presents a whole new case of potential problems.
So, Joe, are you saying that Tibbs is a good enough coach to win some games because of coaching?
No, what I'm saying, he's not good. If we're hovering around 500 or still in like playoff season, he's never going to go. And
I know that's what I was worried about.
With him, there's a cap. Like he's supposed to raise the floor of this team. And he's raised it where we're the 4th seed, and we've never gone up since. So now it's like if this year ends up in around 500, even close to the deadline, if we're 4 or 5 games below 500 before the deadline, that's where I think maybe they should look on and move him and move players and start clearing up this roster a little bit and play the young fellas.
So I have a question, Joe. And this is just a pushback on the coach regime. Do you think the Lakers are better off with Ham or Frank Vogel? Because you're basically becoming the Lakers.
Well, see, the thing is because they have championship level, or what we think is championship level players. They still have LeBron James, which even though he's 37, 38 years old, he's still productive. He's still an all-star player. They have pieces where they have to win a championship. They don't have draft capital. They have no cap space. They have nothing. Right. So basically they have what they have and they have to try and build a championship roster around that. And I think they have a bit of money when they get off of Westbrook next year, bring a piece in. So they kind of have to win. We're not in that position. We don't have the players. Like we don't have cap space where we can get it.
I'm just talking from an organization standpoint, because when you fire the coach, that's different than releasing Evan Fournier. Like that's a much more, if you don't get it right, that sets you back a long time.
But what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to take a step back firing Tibbs. I ain't expecting Johnny Bryan or nobody to come into this organization and make the playoffs with this team. If Tibbs can't do it, nobody's doing it. So what I'm trying to do is I'm letting Tibbs go, and I'm trying to take a step back this year because it's like a 1 year reset, like kind of what Portland done last year. Portland went in with Damian Lillard, went down. They went with the young team. They had a 1 year reset. They got a high draft pick. Damian Lillard he come back, and now they're a way better team. But we don't have a Damian Lillard. But what I'm saying is, with what the young pieces we have and a young coach you can bring up like Johnny Bryan or whoever they decide to bring in, a 1 year reset where you just see what happens this year. Look at trying to get a high draft.
And then how long does that? Then so if you're the front office, how long does that new coach like Johnny Bryan get? 2 years, 3 years, 4 years?
2 years, 3 years. Because yet again, he's a young coach, and you're going into you're going from trying to compete from the playoffs to more or less into the next 2 years. Go into kind of like a rebuild with young players, with the young players you have and the picks you have. Because we're going to have 2 picks this year, too. So what you think, and then maybe even 3 if Washington get through to that, get into the play-in. But we have 2. We're definitely going to have 2 because the Mavs are making the playoffs. So we're going to have that late Mavs pick. So this should be a good year with a deep draft to be able to come out with 2 good young players and continue to build. But what's going to happen now, if you're thinking of keeping Tibbs and pushing for the playoffs, the front office is putting more pressure on themselves. What will happen is then they might make a panic move this summer. If no superstar comes available, there'll be a panic move. They'll go and they'll trade a bunch of picks for a second level superstar, and maybe we'll take a little baby step, and then that'll be it. So the only way is a rebuild.
The bottom line, it ain't working right now. It ain't working.
No.
With Tibbs, it's not going to work with Tibbs. Absolutely not.
I predicted this. I was like, this Donovan Mitchell trade not happening is going to backfire on them, and we're already there because I felt going in with this roster this season, we're not going in. We're not going to be much better than
I agree.
But you guys are both agreeing to this so much. Did you guys expect to beat those teams we lost to?
No.
No, absolutely not.
Hell no. Our record.
Then what are you telling us that's so special? Like, what are you saying to us then? That we all knew, a lot of us knew, even though I'm being a little more positive about our roster, I didn't think we were going to win all those games against those teams.
Yeah, I didn't either.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't either. Our record is what our record should be and what I predicted. Our record, to be honest with you, is a game or 2 better than I predicted the first couple of games. I didn't expect it to be silly.
You got to shoot more points than the other team for this team to win. And that's not the way you win games. You got to win it defensively. Come on now.
Well, this team's nowhere near what it's going to be defensively. You have to make some crazy changes at a house to make this team good defensively. And that's where the problem is, because this team was supposed to win games and hold its hat defensively, and defense isn't there. So now what? Now Tibbs is supposed to be defensive coach. That's what he holds his hat on. If his defense ain't there, you have major problems.
Yeah, but we're
going to be giving up 150.
We don't have a Tibbs. We don't have a Tibbs built team. We don't have like the kind of players he likes to have on his teams. We don't have those players.
Why is hold on.
Very happy we don't have a Tibbs built team.
I don't mind that.
I'm not saying I want a Tibbs built team, but I'm saying for him to be successful, he needs to have certain defensive-minded guys, and he don't have that on this team.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks with Thibodeau. He's not going to make the adjustments that you need to do.
Exactly.
That's what I said.
It isn't about the players. It's about Tibbs making the adjustment and realize this isn't.
And he doesn't realize that. The man's an old fart who are behind there. He doesn't know what he's doing anymore. He's expired, this coach. He's got to go, especially with the young guys. You can't just bark in their ears and just say, hey, get it done this way. It falls on deaf ears if you lose games, especially to the young guys. You're going to lose. He's already lost the team. Come on.
So that's an interesting statement.
Yeah, it really is.
Because there's a lot of coaches that get up in their players' face that it does work on, like the Boston Celtics.
Maybe those coaches know how to do proper adjustments. This coach doesn't.
When the players had the coach.
But what other adjustments does he need to make?
Players don't have respect for Tibbs. Tibbs is a 3-year cap. He loses his teams if he doesn't keep winning with this defensive and hard-nosed mentality. After 3 years, he loses the team. What's happening right now is the same thing that happened in Chicago and Minnesota.
He's not saying anything different. We've all been saying
that's what I was going to say. Okay,
We're just saying the same things. You're like, bless you, Joe. We're saying the same damn thing. We're just saying it differently.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't say it to you, Coach. Sorry.
No, I don't need your blessing. I'm just saying. It's like you're talking like he's got this freaking epiphany. Like he's saying something that we ain't been saying already.
Yeah, I think
we're all
Freezy
saying
and
this.
everyone is in the same page right here. Well, I think Freezy the other night after the Celtics loss was like, "Yeah, I'm done."
But like here's the thing. Like I'm not saying, but I'm not saying that we stink though. You're on here on the chat, D'Angelo, saying we stink, we suck. No,
we do.
Well, that's
I'm sorry, I don't drink the Kool-Aid like that, man. I
what
don't do
Kool-Aid are we
like
drinking?
I don't see it like that. How long I got to take to win? So I'm going to go another 3 years because you have rose-colored glasses on? I'm not going to sit there and watch this crap.
I don't think we're 3 years away.
Hey, you know something? You say we do such a great job in the draft? We don't do a great job in the draft. What did we do last draft? We traded all our picks away. For what? Who got in the tank? What did I get? Nothing. I got Aja that night.
Because we're Stunad, our friggin'
Stunad, yeah.
Our friggin' what do you call our
calibrating the brains too? Yeah.
Our front office is Stunad. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, they got to go too, but you got to
drafting the wrong people.
Yeah. Well, the scapegoat is going to be the coach, and the only positive I seen out of that last game was Dolan with his hands buried in his hands at the end of the game. So I think there's a little, crack in the armor there.
But so do you think Boston shooting like that was because our defense was so bad?
Are you going to say it was good? Please don't tell me.
I think it's a mixture of both. Boston's a great shooting team, but our defense
they're
was atrocious.
Good team.
So it was both on all cylinders, and they were able to hit everything because they're good shooting. And
Cleveland had their best shooting night of the year against us.
Yeah, but Coach, you could actually see on the schedule which games you're going to lose and which games you're going to win. And they got
not like that where you're giving up over 23s a game, and that's because Thibodeau's defense. He's too concentrated.
Boston had a historical night shooting, and we had a 1 point lead at the half. But I'm saying even with them, bro, listen, even with them shooting like that, we had a 1 point lead until they did the buzzer beater thing. Like even with them shooting that way, we still found a way. That's not me having rose-colored glasses. That's just the facts.
But don't you see
fourth quarter?
But then we went with. They were still shooting like that in the third quarter, and we got within 5 again. So I'm not saying that's okay or I'm okay with that. I'm saying this roster is good enough to keep up with the best team in the Eastern Conference because that's what they were last year.
I disagree.
You disagree? They were in the finals. I'm saying we kept up with them.
He's disagreeing with
15.
Right.
Huh?
We lost by 15.
Yeah, at the end, but I'm saying because they had the most historical shooting night in the team's career.
Always against our team, the Knicks. That always happens. A historical night. Somebody comes up from the dead and shoots threes from the heavens. Come on, how many times? Because we got a novice front office that doesn't know their ass from their elbow.
Yeah,
they don't do us right. They don't do us right.
Coach a little bit is like this roster isn't that bad, but that's my problem. It's too good, and it's purgatory. I'd rather this roster be bad than be what it is right now.
No, see, I'm sorry. It can be what it is right now and still be kind of young.
Purgatory. It's 500.
It's not purgatory because it would be purgatory if our starters were all 30. Then it's purgatory. I agree with that. But that's not the case. We're still young. We are still young.
What's the conversation right now? What's the thing?
It's Tibbs.
This isn't. This team and this coaching staff isn't good enough.
What happens
over the next couple of weeks and look at the record and be like, okay, what are we doing? If you're what I'm saying, 5 or 6 games below 500 the next couple of weeks before Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever, then you need to look at this thing and tear half of it down and rebuild. Not saying trading all the young players. What I'm saying is trading vets, moving off of Fournier, moving off of Randall, moving off of Rhodes, moving off of Tibbs, bringing in a young coach, playing Obi, playing Cam, playing the young lads, and see what's happening.
Why do you hold so much value in Obi? I don't get this Obi obsession. I don't get the Obi session. I don't get it.
Obi Toppin on a lot of NBA teams, Coach, is not who he is on the Knicks.
Okay, I understand that, but
Right.
Obi is not a better replacement than Randall. I know a lot of people hate to say it,
But
but it's
that's the
true.
whole
Oh
that's
my
the whole point. I'd
God.
rather have Obi in and see what we have in Obi than have Randall putting us in what, purgatory? Because Randall's capped out of what he is. We've got the highest we can go with Randall. So it's time to
Okay,
move.
I'm not asking Randall to be our go-to guy. Randall as the third or fourth option on the team is a good team.
Still, I'm still looking to move Randall. I just think it's the best move. Get something.
This coach also, though, went with Fournier in the starting lineup at the beginning of this already short season. Okay? This is where his mindset. Now he's sitting relegated to the bench.
And he's already moved him out of it. The same coach moved him out of that spot.
Yeah, I know. He's under pressure because he's going to lose his job.
I'm only defending that move. Okay? Like, I'm not saying he's been doing great in other aspects, but we've gone on and on about this.
Hey, Coach, your microphone's going in and out, bro.
Yeah, it's going in and out.
There was a call coming
in. I think everyone in this room agrees about everything. It's just that people want to take different roads to get to the same goal, right?
I think some people realize
and I don't mind keeping Obi.
They want to fire Tibbs, and they think this team can do better if there was a new coach.
Yeah, and you're overrating the guys that we have. You're overrating them. They're the creme de la creme of guys that we got. We don't have a great roster.
I didn't say that. I never said that we had a great roster ever. I say we have pieces we can keep. You guys, some of you want to just get rid of all of them and start over. No, I think we got five. Like the five. No,
I said
the five guys that I think we should get rid of, or who we should get rid of. We can't get rid of all of them.
Jay Boogie, thank you for the generous contribution. Jay Boogie says, so who are y'all bringing in? Everybody is firing. I need to know the plan. Making a move without an answer. Fire without hire doesn't move the needle. Thank you for that, Jay Boogie. Thank you for the generous contribution, Jay Boogie.
As I said, I'm trying to bring like Johnny Bryan, and I'm not trying to move no needle.
Hold on for a second. Let me just finish this thing with Jay Boogie. Jay Boogie, man. Hey, man, you need to Jay Boogie. You need to jump up here, bro. I ain't seen you in a minute. Jay Boogie, don't be running from us, bro. We be needing to see your mug. I know Jay Boogie probably taking a nap somewhere since he about 30 years older than all of us. He probably somewhere taking like the senior nap. You know what I'm saying? But Jay Boogie, we need to see your mug, bro. Fish, what's good? How you doing, man?
What's good, Uncle Freezy? How you been?
Hey, man, we're arguing right now, bro.
I hear it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Let's look at these. Let's look at this.
Bottom line, team is trash. That's it.
Let's look at these wins and losses, and let's see how we really won and lost these games. Because there's a story in all of these games, and I don't think Tibbs is always the problem. Like, I don't really get it. Like, with the first,
you don't think Tibbs is the problem?
Not all the way. We can't. We going.
No, nobody said. No, front office, him. There's a whole potpourri of problems with this team.
And that's why a lot of us want to just tear it down and start all over, because it's not just one thing. It's a lot of different things that contribute to failure, right? It's not like it's the 5 position is making us lose, and we could just can fix the 5 position. It's a lot of stuff. It's Jalen Brunson can't guard at the point of attack, but what he offers on offense offsets what his defensive deficiencies. RJ Barrett, for a wing player, is not athletic, but what he offers in health and a baseline of consistency, not shooting, I'm talking about a baseline of consistency, offsets his lack of athleticism. Julius Randle may not be a fit for this team offensively. Defensively, yes. Offensively, he may not be a fit for this team, but Randle also recreates himself to try to fit. Other players that have come here have not tried to recreate themselves or present a better version of themselves after they failed. Julius Randle does this every offseason. He looks back at the season past, see what he did wrong, and he fixes it.
And then he reverts back to the same old way.
I can do that, Uncle
well,
Frigid.
well, hold on. Let me finish.
I have not seen him do that this year.
Coach, hold on. Let me finish this point, man. Because y'all are making points and they're so random. These points are so esoteric that we can't knit them together and then have, get to a point where we can have a conversation on a deliberate and accurate statement that's made. What we're doing is everybody shooting guns in the air. That's what it sounds like, right? Here's the thing. If there was a way that we can fix the Knicks right now based on 2 or 3 problems, we could do that in a season. We saw the Indiana Pacers do it, right? We saw the Utah Jazz do it. But the Knicks don't have 2 or 3 problems. The Knicks have problems everywhere.
Yep.
We have a rookie front office. We have Woody Hayes as the head coach. Woody, maybe not Woody Hayes. Bo Schembechler, maybe not Bo Schembechler. We have Newt Rockne as head coach, right? All right, and then the roster is full of first-round picks that all feel like they need playing time in order to prove themselves as NBA players, but none of them have stood out over 30, 40, 50, 60 games as the guy. None of them. Not Obi, not Quickly, not RJ, not any of them. Not Cam, not Hartenstein. And so all these guys feel like they're quality NBA players. But the thing about it is the ultimate goal for this organization should be winning a championship. And if you have all these 50,000 problems and you can't win a championship, in my mind, though I like the players and I like Tibbs, right? I even like the front office. I just don't think right now this combination of roster, coaching, front office is equipped to solve the problem. And our problem is we have a championship drought. Right now, we're looking at the low-hanging fruit. We're looking at, is this team a playing team? And we're looking at, can we become relevant? That's not even the issue here. The issue is this team is not equipped to win a championship. And for a lot of Knicks fans, we want to win a championship. It's not about 50 wins. It's not about having a star or 2 stars. It's about winning a championship. And this front office, this coaching staff, this roster can't solve that problem. And if they can't solve it, we need to get somebody else in here. I don't care if you trade the whole roster. If you promise me a championship in 2 years, you can trade everybody.
That's right.
If you can promise me a championship in 2 or 3 years, everybody can go. If you can promise me a championship in 2 or 3 years, Tibbs and his coaching staff can go. If you can promise me a championship in 2 years, this front off, the owner can go. If you can promise me a championship in 2 years. And so what I think is we get so caught up in the feeding frenzy of the small things. Hey, man, our perimeter defense sucks. That doesn't solve our main question. Our main question is, are we equipped to win a championship? And if that's not the question that we're looking at, then we lost focus of what sports is all about.
The problem is, too, Freezy, the ownership hires a novice front office who never had experience before to a legendary franchise. And this is why he hires the wrong people to do the job. And this is why we got a 5-year deal on Tibbs, which I don't understand why they give him 5 years.
Right.
Give him 2 years plus an option or something. 5 years.
Do you know what's crazy about this franchise? That of all the GMs maybe and stuff, people have come in and presidents of operation or whatever that come in and run this thing over the last 20 years, not one of them has said, hey, do you know what? Let's rebuild like a normal franchise. And that tells me it's not the regimes, it's ownership that's telling them that. Ownership saying, come in, but I don't want to rebuild. We need to win games.
It's us.
Money.
And therefore, I guarantee Leon Rose wants to rebuild. I guarantee it. But he's being told, nah, you need to win games and get me a superstar. And that's by owner.
It's us,
No other
man.
way. It's been the same thing for 20 years. You can't blame 20 different GMs or 15 different GMs for the same problem.
And guess what? They still haven't gotten it right in 20 years, plus years, whatever.
Coach, what do you want from this team? What do you want right now? Today, what do you want?
I want a championship.
How do you get it?
And so
you mean with this team or in just the franchise in general?
Just starting today because because the thing is I have to ask Coach, and this is me being fair to the thing that I just said and fair to my man. I don't want to set Coach up for failure. Y'all know that. Y'all know I love Coach. I'll be on the phone with Coach probably more than I talk. Well, no, Hoodie Cav called me a lot, but anyway.
What the hell is he?
I don't know. He a butterfly, man. Anyway.
Sorry.
So, and I mean that in a positive way, by the way. I mean that in a positive way. But Coach, if you want a championship, do you believe a combination of Tom Thibodeau, Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett can win a championship in the near future?
No.
Okay.
Thank God.
We need more.
I was about to jump out my window.
Well, you unpacked it really good, Freezy.
Right. And
but why just now are we realizing that's what my want was? I don't understand. I've been saying this since the summer.
But no, Coach. But listen, I understand that, and you notice how I phrased the question to you, right? I didn't throw a grenade in your lap. I parsed it and laid it down quite flat. I laid the game down flat. Right? What do you want? And so here's the thing. Do you believe that Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, and Jalen Brunson can contribute to a championship?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says, Coach, I know you're a few years younger than me, and we're from the old school of act right first before anything. Randall not leading by example, quitting on teammates, plus underachieving deserves termination. That's what Paris Duggar says. Basically, what he's saying is you got to have a positive part of what he's saying is the environment has to be right.
Yeah, I think Randall's been doing that this year. Have we seen Randall smile this much this year?
If you looked at, can I say something real quick? I'm going to stay on top of it, but let's look at a different team without emotion, which is the Chicago Bulls.
Okay.
Chicago Bulls and Julius Randle is DeRozan. Right? There's still no vibe. There's still no chemistry. There's still no winning. There's still a lot of young kids. Right? What creates a winning culture? That is the question. Why are the Utah Jazz winning with nobodies?
Is that rhetorical, or you want us to answer?
Well, I'm asking. I ask these things out loud to try to drum up.
So it's rhetoric. It's rhetorical. You don't want us to answer. Okay. All right.
Well, I could give you the answer. Why?
Okay.
Why the Utah Jazz are winning? Because no one's treated like they're special. Everyone on the damn Knicks is a special needs emotional player that if they don't get rewarded emotionally, they start throwing tantrums. And you already saw it in, like you said, Jalen Brunson's cussing out Julius Randle. Like, that's not appropriate behavior on any NBA team from someone who has not done anything in the NBA.
What are you talking about? You talking about the guy that's the quarterback of the team holding guys on the team accountable?
No.
I applaud that.
Yeah, you applaud that? You think that's going to win? What do you think? This is the 95 Bulls? It's
No.
not. And Jalen Brunson is not Michael. And Jalen Brunson. The point that I'm making is you got to have a winning culture. You have to develop a winning culture, then bring in the pieces. That's my point.
I don't mind Brunson lighting a fire under his teammates, though. That's the only thing.
Right.
No one's going to respect
exactly,
that
D'Angelo. That's what
respect that coming
I disagree with. Yeah.
You have to.
We'll see tonight.
You have to demand accountability before you start winning.
So really quick too, man.
Okay.
I'm Italian, and so we speak to each other in a different way, and so sometimes the emotion, and sometimes curse words will fly. You know what I'm saying? And communicating accountability. D'Angelo, I know you wouldn't know anything about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you want to talk about Italian? You want to talk about Italian basketball players? Rudy Fernandez is a good case of that. Right? Well, he's not Italian, but he's Spaniard. Same. I mean, not the same.
Hey,
No,
who's throwing pasta against the wall? I'm not. Stop.
No.
I'm teasing. Throwing a joke with the paisans.
I busted back. Don't worry about it. I'm good.
No. And I say that just as a I bring up the Brunson thing as I think Brunson is a guardrail, right? Because of what you said has some truth to it. But in previous years, that whole thing that would have happened, see, Kemba Walker or Elfrid Payton would have held their tongue and allowed bad basketball to continue. And Jalen Brunson on the spot looked to correct it.
Okay.
And so while on the surface, it looks like, Draymond Green and Jordan Poole, but at its core, it's, hey man, we had all these conversations in the offseason about us holding each other accountable and such, and you had two bad plays in a row, and here I am, the dude that you spoke to in the offseason, coming here to hold you accountable. Exactly. And you're frustrated with me because you're in the heat of battle, not thinking about the conversations we had in the offseason. Because when you get in the heat of battle, bro, you don't always have clarity in the heat of battle like you do in the offseason when it's an empty gym and y'all talking about the goals that y'all set. And that's the reason why the Jalen Brunson going to Randall thing is important, because Kemba Walker wouldn't have done that last year. It's
still a riff. I'm not.
That's not a riff. Have you ever played organized sports before? I'm just curious, Sally. Have you ever played organized sports?
I'll
before?
answer your question two ways.
Yes,
of course. But I also played a lot of. I also played a lot of individual sports like golf and bowling and pool.
Me too, man. I play golf. I love golf, bro.
I also play a lot of golf a lot of sports where it's just up to me. Now, the point that I'm trying to make is, Coach, you got one guy's been on the team for 9 games. You got the other dude's been there for 4 years, went through COVID, went through all the ups and downs of that franchise, got booed, took them to the playoffs, became the best player of the comeback player of the year, did all that for the New York Knicks. And you got this little guy yelling at him 9 games in. Man, you got to respect your seniority.
Because Randall's not a team leader. Why would
they're both professionals.
In his mind,
and
he is. And this is
in his mind, he needs psychiatric help.
You got to get permission from the top dog before you come to. Listen, if you are in
talking about,
because
they gave him permission by signing him.
When Jordan used to chew out his players, his own players, chew that Kerr and all that stuff, that wasn't okay.
But D'Angelo, I'll answer that. But Jordan would get rid of you if you didn't fall in line. Jalen Brunson don't got that power.
What are you talking about?
It's not about more power. With Tibbs and Leon, I think Brunson has more power. If something were to happen and Randall would be gone quicker than Brunson.
You nailed it, Joe. I agree with you that the fact that Jalen Brunson, the regime change has presented itself, and what we are seeing is the collapse of Rome. That's what you're seeing. Randall's going to be gone.
No, it ain't the collapse of Rome, because Rome was on top. They were the best civilization in the world for a long time.
It actually was not. Rome was never. It couldn't overtake Britain, and if you couldn't overtake Britain, you couldn't replace number one. So the fact.
Don't start.
Oh, God, my dog ate my homework. I'm in class.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to hear that. I don't care about that. But it's a false statement. So the point that I'm making is that when Jalen Brunson takes the alpha dog spot from Randall, that's RJ's spot to do that. RJ should have been up in his ass.
RJ's not.
But it's. I think you're looking too much into it. All this hierarchy of guys and all that stuff. He's the point guard of the team. He's running the team. He's going to hold guys accountable if they're messing up. It's that simple. Right. Just like a quarterback does for his team.
How does that work Coach, how does that work for 20 NFL teams with a quarterback? Yeah, Tyler Heineke is going to hold Terry McLaurin accountable.
If he runs the wrong route, he's going to say something to him.
Randall's 1-0 neither. What are you talking about? So if Brunson comes in and being a team leader, I want that. I want him to do that.
Yeah,
I want to chew his teammates out. Yeah, to win a game, yeah.
Yeah, good job. What do you got? You got a loss. You didn't get a win.
What is that?
It's not because he scolded Randall.
No effect on that moment, though.
Okay. You guys sit back and watch this toxicity that's about to take place.
Oh my God.
In the New York. Hey, coach, this is entertainment, baby. I'm giving the crowd what
it's
they
not
want.
toxicity.
You're gonna hear that toxicity come through.
It's grown ass men. Like, it ain't like they just formed yesterday, and he's yelling at them. These dudes had a whole offseason. You know how much time these guys spend. You know how much time these guys spend together before they play a game.
Yeah, enough to not like each other.
But that's not happening. I see a lot of smiles and hugs and fist pounds and all kinds of stuff before the games, during the games.
Well, I do see Randall on the court. There was the game against it was the Hornets when we come back and Brunson went off. Randall was shaking his head and Brunson was coming up the court. Randall put his hand out for the ball. Brunson didn't give, and Randall just kind of walking towards the line, and just his body language was like, "Are you kidding me?" So I think he's
here. We go talking about Randall's body language again.
Bit to take over the fact that he's not going to have the ball as much. I think he'll get used to it, but for now, I think it's kind of annoying him a little bit because he's not used to playing without.
Thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Douglas says Riley comes here. Jules and RJ was sit to be humbled. Jay Boogie is in the building. What's good, Jay Boogie? How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? That goes for anybody, man. If I'm listening and watching and you call me out, I'm not going to act like I don't hear you calling me out. I'm going to answer. So, homie called me up here, so I came up here. Any one of y'all guys would have called me. Anybody in the chat would have called me and I was watching. I would have came because that's just, what I do. Face, bro. Because I keep the love. But shout out to y'all great men. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I just want y'all guys to make sure y'all come up with an answer, man. It's okay to agree or disagree or debate with one another. But make sure when you finish, doing that, y'all come to a solution. Don't just leave it as just a debate going back and forth, man.
Shooting guns in the air, bro. Yeah.
So when we sitting on this side and we listening to y'all, like you said, you all bring entertainment, but you also got to bring answers too.
I got answers. You want that too?
No, you got to also bring answers too, man.
Okay.
That, just all
entertainment, man.
To bring forth. But I just want to ask y'all a quick question. How many teams on a back-to-back night would have beat the Knicks the other night in the league?
When they played Boston?
Zero.
Yeah.
That game the Knicks played Saturday night, the Knicks should have won that game. The Celtics had to shoot. The Celtics had to hit 27 3-pointers against us to win.
That's my exact thing. That's why I asked, how many teams is it in the league that you think would have won that game on a back-to-back and would have shot like Boston?
But that's a tough question to answer because how many teams would have played defense against Knicks like that?
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
That's such a variable. This is not a question you can get an answer
to. Everybody wouldn't have shot like that, dude.
No.
Everybody.
Right.
27 3-pointers, bro.
Now I know about the defense. The defense was trash.
My bad, Jay.
The defense was trash. I must accept that. But still, sometimes you could play trash defense and still get away with a W. Them guys just shot out of their mind.
Yep.
Not trying to find a excuse for the Knicks because there is no excuse. But, some things we got to look at, both sides of it instead of just looking at it one-sided. Now, y'all talking about, changing the personnel, the coaching and the office and all that. I'm okay with that. But I know I have a plan and thought what I would like, but the team has to have a plan to do that. You can't just scrape everybody off the board because things is not looking that good. It just don't work like that in sports. You know what I'm saying? At this point in time, 7 games in, 8 games in, you just don't scrape everybody. You just don't fire the coach. You just don't you get rid of the office. You just don't do that.
So what do you do?
Huh?
You just live in it? I mean, what do you do? How do you get divorced from your wife? You just go to the lawyer and you say, I want to file for a divorce. And you get
I don't know nothing about not being a good husband.
What the hell are you talking about?
A bad
example of not a personal. The point I'm making is when you realize it's not working, you cut it out. You get rid of it. You got cancer, you try to cut it out. You got to cut it out.
No, but see that's the cancel culture in the
cancel culture. What are you talking about? Cancel?
No, that's the mindset of people today. When things get tough, they quit.
What are
you
instead of working on the problems and making it better? Going to counseling,
Bro,
getting this fixed, getting that fixed.
Coach, fair enough.
Fella, you living in pain.
But
That's
no,
all it
the
is.
way you guys are talking, I agree we should do what you're saying. If we lost to Detroit, if we lost to Charlotte, if we lost to the Wizards, if we lost to the 76ers, if we lose all those games, then hell yeah, blow it up.
Oh, so you're saying it's okay to lose to the winning teams, but not the losing
teams. See, that's the problem with you guys. Y'all are all you're worse than ex-wives. You're word twisters.
How you gonna say you guys? Sally said that to you directly.
Yeah. No, okay. When I say you guys are you guys, the you guys are I'm referring to are the guys that are pushing against me, saying that the words I'm saying are I'm okay with this. I'm not saying that that's okay.
You can't give binary examples, Coach. You can't give
I'm not giving a binary example. I'm saying that the talk that you guys are saying that we should blow everything up is the kind of talk that I'm comfortable with. If we did lose all of our games that we like, I'm saying we were in these games against these really good teams.
Everybody's in the NBA games until the fourth quarter. That's just the NBA, man.
Yeah, okay. You're also the guy that says when we win the first quarter, you win the game, and that didn't happen.
80% of the time, you do win.
Oh God, you said that? Oh boy.
No, it's true. Look at the numbers.
First quarter, you win the game.
First quarter, if you win the first quarter, you're like 70% chance to win the entire game.
That stat only worked for that argument that you wanted to use for that game. But
look at all the box scores in the NBA.
The Knicks have win in the first quarter in a lot of games, and we lost.
It's not an opinion.
Hey, Jay Boogie. So Jay Boogie. So what I was saying to the point is you have to understand what your goal is. Like, what's the goal of every team in the NBA? And the goal of every team in the NBA is to eventually win a championship, right? But if you don't have the pieces in place on the roster, and if you don't have the coaching staff in place, if you don't feel comfortable with the front office that this team is going to move you closer to winning the championship, why prolong the inevitable? This is what I'm saying. Before y'all cut me off, because y'all love to talk and cut people off. Just be quiet. Let me finish. Chill out. We got plenty of time. Jay Boogie. What I'm saying is I'm not saying, like what you said, scrape everything clean, right? Just because we lost to the Celtics. That's not what I'm saying, right? Because I did an example. I even put the graphic up on the screen where the Knicks legit have the second best field goal percentage against. Like, teams shoot the ball against us and miss. Our problem is that when they miss, they get more shots. We lead the league in opponents' shots per game. Per 48 minutes, on average, teams shoot 97 shots a game. The Phoenix Suns, who have a worse defense, the worst defensive metrics against us, but give up less points per game, only give up 83 shots a game. So we're giving up 14 more shots per game than the Phoenix Suns, who only give up 83, right? So I understand there are some good things that we're doing, and then there's some bad things that we're doing, right? But the thing is do we have the roster and pieces in place to correct the bad things that we're doing, right? And if we don't, then we need to make corrections, because what's going to happen is if the system stays the same, the personnel stays the same, the coach stays the same, we're going to get the same results. Right. And if it's frustrating you now after 9 games, imagine how frustrating it's going to be after 40 games or 60 games or 82 games. What I'm saying is, if this recipe is not the recipe that's going to move us forward to winning the championship, then consider making the change. I'd be okay with that. Would I prefer to have that happen during the season? No, I would like to have the house cleaned out after the season. Start over from scratch, where your new coach, your new front office have an off season to make corrections, as opposed to trying to do it during the season when you have to kind of make meals on the go. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to do fast food. I don't want to feed my kids McDonald's every day, right? I'd rather bring them home and cook them a home cooked meal. Is basically what I'm getting at. Now, what it sounds like, and all the the translation, all the transition, and all these things, it sounds like I'm a part of the crowd, or people like me that have this opinion are a part of the crowd that says, get rid of everybody today. That's not what I'm saying. Right? What I'm saying is, do I like R.J. Barrett? No, I love R.J. Barrett. Do I like Miles McBride? No, I love Miles McBride. Do I like Emmanuel Quickly? No, I love Emmanuel Quickly. I love Julius Randle. I love this version of the Knicks. Do I wish this version of the Knicks can win a championship? Yes. But ultimately, if these guys can't do the job, because even though I love R.J. Barrett, you know what I love more than R.J. Barrett? A championship. I love championships more than I love R.J. Barrett. And that's no disrespect to him or Randall. But I've been a Knicks fan. I mean, hardcore since 1975. My first basketball team, my first real love was the Harlem Globetrotters. I used to go to the Garden. I thought Meadowlark Lemon was the best player in professional basketball. Right? That's what I thought. But in mid-70s, I grew to love the New York Knicks. And where I'm at today is I still love the Knicks today like I loved them in the 70s. Now, are the Knicks reciprocating that love back? I question that every day. Do the Knicks love me as much as I love them? Right? I question that. And if you're a Knicks player or in the Knicks organization and you're offended by what I just said, so what? I'm telling you that I've loved this organization for close to 50 years. And in that love fest, the Knicks have not reciprocated. So if you're watching me and you're frustrated, you're new to the organization and you're wondering why, blah, 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 give Knicks fans something to cheer about and we wouldn't debate every day. You got all these men up here frustrated that we can't get that thing that comes easily to other organizations. The Golden State Warriors have won 4 NBA championships in the last 10 seasons with limited resources, and the Knicks have exponential resources and can't even get out of the lottery for multiple seasons. J-Bug, hey man, I'm sorry about getting on the soapbox, bro. But when people hear cats like me say, I want the Knicks to win a championship, I want the Knicks to do whatever it takes to win, a lot of people that are in these Knicks circles think that I'm a hater. I'm a cranky Knicks fan. But listen, I have the right to be that. Am I that? No. But I have the right to be that. Because of all these years, I've invested emotionally in the Knicks. And what have the Knicks given me in return?
A great podcast.
I'm quite sure everybody would love to see a championship with the Knicks. Everybody would love to be a part of that parade. Everybody would love to wipe away how long it's been and all that.
Right.
But for you to win a championship, there are major steps that you have to take before you receive that trophy. And you have to develop a winning culture first. And then you have to have winning attitude players. They got to be willing to learn what it takes to win. They got to be willing to make winning plays during the game, and that will allow them to win games. And when they start winning games, they'll start, knowing that they got some experience on how to move forward towards a championship. You know what I'm saying? You have to learn these small things and get these small things. That what Boston didn't happen overnight. They had to become that. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, we're so upset about what we've been going through that we don't allow these things to take place. If we don't allow it to take place, it's not going to happen overnight. You got to have luck to sign 2 or 3 major dudes to come to your organization. They got to all want to come there and then take off like that. If they're not, if your organization isn't bringing like that, then you have to, allow the transition to take place, which is drafting, hoping your draft picks turn out to be right, hoping that, whoever you're hoping that you're drafting according to whatever the style the coach is having. Can they all get along? Can they adapt to one another? Can they take criticism? I hear y'all talking about Brunson and Julius. Who knows? Maybe they talked about that at the beginning. Yo, you want me to come here? You want me to be a leader? Can you take me criticizing you? You know what I'm saying? And during a crucial part of the time, maybe Julius might have told me, yeah, I can take that. I just want a point guard. So maybe he tested Julius there during that time. Let me see if, I can test you about what you said. You can take criticism. Did Julius take that criticism? Did he act out? Did he, you know what I'm saying? Did he go off? I don't think he did. Go ahead, dude.
The strongest leaders are always the most quiet ones. That's it.
Well, come on, man. There you go, making a statement that ain't true.
Man, okay.
Is Draymond Green quiet? And he's a leader of the Warriors.
Leader, man.
Draymond, if you think Draymond is not the leader of that Golden State Warrior team,
you are
okay.
Okay, I don't want to. Every time I say something, just because
what happened with Poole, but in their championship runs, he by quite was the leader. He checked Kevin Durant when he needed to.
Yeah, he checked.
He's not. Yeah, exactly. He's not. You take Draymond off that team, they don't win them chips.
You wrong. You wrong. You're not right. You're wrong.
I'm not saying quiet leaders aren't good sometimes.
Hold on. First
they
thing
ain't the
first.
best ones.
Hold on, Coach. Hold on. First thing first.
My bad.
Who am I talking to? I heard you.
I haven't said anything that's.
No. I'm just saying. I'm just asking. Who am I talking to? I never seen you in my life, dude.
Why are you taking it personal, Jay Boogie?
I'm not taking it personal. I like to at least know a person's face one time.
Listen, I have a right to privacy, and I exercise it. That's it.
All right, man.
I like my privacy.
Okay. Y'all continue talking to him.
Okay. Well, you got hot on me, bro. All I said is that that leaders are usually quiet.
Yeah, like I'm agreeing with Boogie as well. And you also need a front office that's not afraid to make the cutthroat move or the necessary move. You can't be attached to certain players just because we like them. Like, for instance, Masai had to get rid of DeRozan to get where he needed to go.
Yeah, he got mad. I ain't responsible.
Yeah, nah, because Jay, but I'm sorry, Jay, but
go ahead, Freezy, say what you got to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. You know me, I ain't.
I know you're not. I want to know what you got to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the thing is, what Jay Boogie is saying, I think kind of some of that kind of what Jay Boogie was mentioning to us is that just because, and I get what he's saying. He's saying but listen, what he's saying is just because previous generations made errors don't mean that you should hold the son accountable for the sins of the father.
What errors were being?
But hold the Selly. What I'm saying is what Jay Boogie is mentioning is just because the Knicks hadn't won a championship since 1973 doesn't mean that this organization here should be held responsible for that. And I get that. But that
I didn't get any of that for that.
No, that's because you are not a diehard Knicks fan like myself.
You're right about that.
I'm a diehard Knicks fan, and I live and die with the Knicks every day of every week.
I tell everybody
every month of every year.
The Knicks fans are the best fans in the NBA.
There is no split like with us. There is no split allegiance. So the thing is like with D'Angelo. When D'Angelo says he's tired and frustrated with this thing,
right,
and wants this thing to go in the right direction, I'm absolutely with D'Angelo. D'Angelo is my brother, not by blood, but by relation. And like when Coach is saying, "Yo, we got to be positive about where we are," Coach Malpica is my blood. He's my brother, not by blood, but by relation, because we go through the same thing every day of every week of every month of every year. The same thing with Joe Madden. Our frustration is boiling over, not because of what's typically going on in the NBA, but what is atypically going on with the Knicks. Right? The Knicks are not like the other 29 organizations for one reason or another, whether it's the money thing, whether it's the population.
It's the fans too, Freezy. A lot of the reason why the players don't want to come is because they get verbally abused.
What? Okay.
That's the truth.
That's part of it.
You literally have to take the fans need to take some responsibility for the way you treat those dudes that are working and entertaining the public. And if anyone thinks that that's not true, take it from someone who looks from the outside in. Why do I want to go rock with a bunch of people that are spitting on other players? You just think because the NBA sees
or is going to boo you any chance they get.
That dude. Like I love New York Knicks fans for the simple fact is they talk sports with a passion. Right. Outside of that, y'all like that man spitting on Trae Young, and you think that doesn't ripple effect through the NBA? Come on, man. Wake up.
But you can't let a couple of bad fans define the whole fan base, though. Now you get into that territory again.
Bro. That's why they don't want to play for certain franchises.
Sully, I can speak to that from a guy coming from upstate. Like I drive 6 hours to the Garden. So
fair enough.
Hold on. So I'm from Rochester, right? So that's 6 hours away from New York, but it's still New York State. So my point is, like, driving 6 hours, right? And I come there, right? And my team not giving effort or like that, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be upset. So you have a lot of fans from the tri-state area that pay a lot of money because it's like, again, living in New York State is a privileged state. It's a lot of money just to drive a car. You need an inspection sticker. You need a registration. You need 2 license plates. So it's a privileged state. So when people come here, they be pissed off because they spend their money, and it's a lot of money, and money is very, very, very rare in the tri-state area. It costs $1,500 just to live in an apartment building in New York State.
I'm on the East Coast. I get it. I understand. I'm in the Mid-Atlantic region, just like you.
Yeah,
I live in an area just as expensive as maybe not Manhattan, but it ain't cheap where I live.
Right.
But every big city fan base has a bunch of psychos that do dumb stuff.
But Coach,
the Philadelphia Eagles are known for it. Philly,
the Boston
Celtics were set the precedent for that crap. Yeah, come on, man.
It's getting unprecedented though in New York to another level when you have one of the guys that maybe he made mistakes in the playoffs. He didn't play at his best, but he had one of the historic seasons in baseball. And you're not even 100% sure if he's going to come back because the whole fan base basically abused him in the last game. You have Yankee players saying that was the worst day of their life.
Right.
And if you think that they're feeling that, Knicks too. And it's the Yankees have won. The Yankees have championships.
Right. And then just real quick. So Paris Tucker, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Tucker says, Sally, note to file. We're 4-5, and it's only 9 games. That's what Paris Douglas said. And Joe, that's an excellent point, bro. Let me read this super chat real quick. Paris Douglas says, Paris Douglas, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Douglas says the Superior Bulls are 5-6. So bad example. And Joe, think about what you just said, bro. What you said right there is basically what we're trying to encapsulate, right? The Yankees got swept. The best player, probably the league MVP, had a terrible series. And the Yankees fans legit went haywire because their expectations outpaced the result. Right? And that's the Knicks fandom in a nutshell. Our expectation for what we're getting is always outpacing what we get in return from the organization. We set the bar so high, like we think we're a playoff team, right? This team might not be a play-in team, but that's typical of what the Knicks give us every year. Like, we have a lot of hope and dreams for this team, and they underdeliver. And so what that does is it creates a D'Angelo and an Uncle Freezy. It creates a Joe Madden.
Thank you.
It creates a coach. And if you don't understand, like if you're not in that daily grind of what that feels like, of the promise of drafting an RJ Barrett number 3 after Zion and after Ja, and then you see Zion, and then you see Ja, and then you see RJ Barrett,
and you see Darius Garland come right behind them.
Right. And so the grind it doesn't grind our nerves. Like the thing is, like, listen, Coach is a tough dude. Coach is a former professional running back, right? Coach was telling me the other day, and I ain't gonna say his business, but he seen like 2 really sad, tragic things happen in one night, and then he jumped on the live stream. I'm talking about life-altering stuff. I ain't gonna get into exactly what it was, but he jumped into the live stream and started talking about the Knicks, right? D'Angelo is a tough dude. I know the place where he grew up at. D'Angelo is a tough dude to come from that place You have to be a thick-skinned individual to survive, right? So I'm not saying that Knicks fans are not. This grates on their nerves. What it does over time is it tugs at our heartstrings to the point where we don't know whether Knicks fans are on the razor's edge. Like, yo, why do we continue to do this? Like, it's a dumb question, right? It's, yo, why do I continue to root for the Knicks every day when I know the outcome, right? I should quit and just do something else with my time, but we won't because we're hardcore Knicks fans. That's basically what it is in a nutshell. So
best
for
fans
like
in the NBA.
Yeah, and best fans in sports, right?
I agree.
But then again, but we're not the best fans in sports because we win a ton of championships.
Nope.
We're
Loyal.
the best fans in sports because we're built different.
You're loyal. You're a loyal fan base.
Right.
I've always, and that was one of the first things
Coach,
I
I can't
said
hear you,
about
Coach.
this. I respect the New York Knicks fans
The last.
because of their loyalty to their team. Wizards fans, I'll tell you right now, like we couldn't get a podcast like this for the Wizards. Nobody would care.
Coach, hey, Sally, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something funny, right? I can leave my house and drive 7 hours, right, to where the Wizards play on game day. Like what time is it? It's like something.
Yeah.
I can drive to the Wizards. I could have left my house at say 10 o'clock this morning and drove to the Wizards game and buy a ticket and sit behind the Wizards bench.
Yep. You know what the Wizards are in DC? They're just a show. It's just like going to the theater to seeing Cats.
Right.
That's all it is. It's
right. And
there's
it's
no
a shame because where they play is a beautiful place on the inside.
Right.
Isn't it the same with the Nationals and then the Red or the sorry not the Redskins, the Commanders now? Like they might even struggle to sell because of the market.
Before Dan Snyder ruined that team, the Washington Redskins had a tremendous fan base.
Tremendous following, bro. Yeah. They were a tremendous franchise before.
Yeah.
They still like if they start winning, they'll start filling.
Oh
up the
yeah,
stands
they'll
like
fill
nothing.
in.
Dan Snyder got to go though. They're fed up. With
It'll
Snyder.
start filling the day they get a new owner. The stadium is full.
Yes, and they're going to probably change the name. I don't know if they'll go back to the Redskins, but they'll change the name.
Right. At one point, the Commanders or the Redskins, whatever you want to call them, they had a deeper following than the Pittsburgh Steelers, deeper following than the New England Patriots. Right. They had a deeper following than the New York Giants. Right. But bad ownership wrecks everything. And coach, this is since they brought that up, this is the thing I want to say to us about the Knicks. I think the Knicks are at that place where if we continue to go down this road of bad front office, bad ownership decisions, bad front office, bad ownership decisions, I think we're going to get to that point where we become apathetic. And for those that don't know what apathy means, it means where a constituency understands that there are major problems, but they get so fed up that by the way that people handle it, they stop contributing, they stop voting, they stop caring.
Or you become a lot of the Redskins fans became Raven fans.
Yeah.
Like why they want to raise their kids with the sorry franchise just because of what? Yesterday's success? Like you said, why are you going to penalize and why are you going to celebrate for 30 years ago?
Right.
Because at the end of the day,
Sealy, what fan are you? You're not a Knicks fan then, right?
So if you were to say what fan am I? I'm a fan of the NBA, but I grew up watching the Washington Bullets.
You're Washington.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I don't have the same type of. You're ending up where I am. Like you're passionate about the NBA, you're passionate about teams, but you realize your franchise will never compete, and that one day, just this New York ego is going to one day come out of you, and you're going to realize this whole time has been a fraud. The people in DC don't got the New York ego. They don't got the New York winning passion. They don't care. It's just literally going to a movie. That's what it is.
Right. And I'm not gonna lie, because Coach, one of these days, Coach loves Florida so much that he don't like to travel. I don't know why that is.
Hell no, I don't like Florida. I'm trying to get the hell out of here.
So one of these days, I'm gonna drag Coach kicking and screaming to a Washington Wizards game.
I'm here because my kids are here. I'm leaving once they're old enough.
Yo, one day I'm gonna drag Coach kicking and screaming to a Washington Wizards game, Knicks versus Wizards, and we're gonna leave the day of the game and just road trip, right? And I promise you, without using an app, without using an app to buy the tickets before we get there. We can walk up to whatever, call there, or hey, we're standing outside of where you play. We want some great seats. They're going to offer us the best seat package they can. They're going to offer us a suite that hadn't sold on game day. Coach and I are going to say no. Can we get tickets behind the Knicks? They're going to say, well, the tickets right behind the Knicks, usually they run, $600. But since you're right outside, we'll let you get both tickets for $450. So me and Coach are going to pay $225 for tickets and sit right behind. We'll be so close to Julius Randle, we can hear him drink Gatorade out of the thing. That's because the Wizards fans are apathetic, right? But if we did the same thing for the Knicks, Coach, on game day, we show up outside the Garden on game day. Guess what we will be at when the game starts? Outside.
You'd be 3 blocks away.
Right.
It's Freezy. And listen, and I want to make this a point because I go to Orioles games. I ride the train into Camden Yards, right?
Yeah, me too. I go to Orioles games.
And all of the New York Yankee fans ride the train down to Baltimore. This is what they say. I love coming to Orioles, the Yankees game, because it's cheaper for me to come to an Orioles Yankee game than going to Yankee Stadium.
Yep.
And I sit there in those stands, and
in left field. Yep, I'm in the left field crew.
And I'll sit there and watch those Yankee fans' interactions versus Oriole fans. And even if we're winning, dude, we don't care anywhere. Only thing we're there for is to get drunk at Pickles Pub, get in there by 4 o'clock, get a hot dog, and have a good time. I mean, fourth inning.
Bet you don't have to pay $20 for the hot dog down there either.
Right. And you don't have to wait 14 minutes.
So this is why I love New York fans in general. I love New York fans in general because y'all actually really care while everyone else doesn't. That's the truth.
Bro,
no one else cares.
I'm telling you, I've been to Orioles games. I've been to Orioles Mets. I've been to Orioles Red Sox. I've been to Orioles Yankees. I go to Orioles games, bro, because the environment is probably the best. There's a section in left field right underneath the joint, and there's a guy, a older black dude. When I go with my cousins and them, he call us, "Hey, Bobby, you bought your cousin, Mr. Freezy, hey," you know what I'm saying? And that's bro, and I maybe go like 3 or 4 times a year. You know what I'm saying?
Everyone's there smiling, win or lose.
Right. But the thing about the Knicks, though, is this: we don't want to become apathetic, but we feel like there is a portion of the fan base that have lost for so long that they are apathetic, right? It's not like the Dallas Cowboys. See, the Dallas Cowboys, they have a passionate fan base too, right? They also have a passionate fan base, right? But at least the Cowboys present their fan base with a taste of something every once in a while. With the Knicks, we don't get that taste of anything, bro. It's like every 10 years or so, when we get like an RJ Barrett, we get a taste of something. We're like, oh, RJ's taking us to the championship, bro. RJ's the golden child.
I love it. I love the delusion sometimes. I love it.
But see, the thing is, for me, and no disrespect to the shotgunners in the world or the guys that are a little younger, they haven't been. I can't blame you for being born later than me. And it don't make me or Freezy or D'Angelo or Jay Boogie or some of the other old hats out there. It don't mean we're better fans or we're bigger fans because we've been fans longer. But over time, if you look at this situation as a tragic moment in your life, like a loss of a loved one, a loss of a spouse, a kid, or something like that, a tragic situation, that there's phases that you go through. First, there's denial.
Yeah.
Then there's like
regret.
There's like all these states except like at this point, it's been happening to me and Freezy and D'Angelo and Wiz and Jay Boogie, all those dudes for so long. It's not that I'm accepting the fact that we're losing or I'm okay with it. It's like well, here we go again, kind of a situation.
Right.
And I'm all over the place with my emotions. There's some days I'm so excited that we have a glimmer of hope, and then there's times we go back to the old ways. And so there's not this even kills. Oh, things are. I'm like, that's why I'm always like, I'm like this. Right.
It's not linear. It's not.
Yeah.
And for that reason, D'Angelo always says, "Man, enough is a freaking enough."
Yeah.
That's why D'Angelo says enough is enough. Stop it, bro. We're tired of this thing, man. That's why when the first day I met D'Angelo, he said that, I was like, wow, I ain't never heard nobody put it like that before. He just cut straight through all the smoke, all the clay. Like, hey, man, enough of this mess, bro. We go through this thing all the time. Stop it. Stop right here and start all over. When he said that, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it emotionally. I understand it intellectually. Intellectually, it makes sense. If things keep going wrong, stop doing it. Right?
Yeah.
But emotionally, I couldn't understand it because we're like, but yo, it finally looks like we're turning the corner. And D'Angelo F turning the corner.
I throw cold water on it.
Yeah, F turning the corner, bro. We need to win a championship, but we need to win it now.
It hurts when I do this. It hurts when I do this. Well, stop doing that.
Stop doing it.
And Fraser, there's a lot of like you guys had. I don't know. Well, some of you are old enough to see the Clyde era, and then you had Patrick Ewing. Yep. I was a baby when Patrick Ewing was going on, so my prime days is Melo and Jeremy Lin.
Right.
So I don't.
Those are bad prime years,
very bad highs.
I tell you, a lot of people took that for granted, the era of Ewing and all that stuff. Missed those days. You missed those days big time.
We had a whole decade, guys. A whole decade, 10 years.
Right.
Of being very relevant.
Because we had a franchise player. Because and it's not
that's a Hall of Fame level player.
Right. And people think about the 90s as, man, that defense. I love that Knicks era because of that era of basketball was good because of Patrick Ewing and Patrick Ewing alone. I don't care nothing about no Charles Oakley. I respect Oakley. Starks, I respect Starks. I love Starks as a player, right? But the reason why we were relevant from 1985 to the year 2000 was not defense or special shot making or magic. It was not pixie dust. Disney didn't write that script. It was because we had Patrick Ewing, period.
Yep.
And when a franchise is devoid of a franchise player, you get the 2022 New York Knicks.
Yeah. And we had Pat Riley, too, who we took on the identity of our coach.
Right.
Big time.
Right. Part of it had a decent front office also. But the main reason is Patrick Ewing. And so no matter if your front office is decent and your head coach is great, it's not about the X's and O's. It's about the Jimmies and Joes. And right now, I don't believe that we have the Jimmies and Joes. And so when I hear D'Angelo cut straight to the chase, I'm like, okay. And when I hear Coach say, hey, be careful how you swing that axe. Meaning Coach is basically saying, yo, we have pieces here. Don't just be a bull in the china shop. Right? Don't just be a bull in the china shop. Be careful. You have pieces if you cultivate them. Coach is saying stuff to y'all that is so poetic. I think sometimes when we argue, we miss like what each other are saying. Like Coach is saying, hey, you have a rose growing in concrete. Yo, take that rose out of the concrete and put it in a flower pot and cultivate it. That's what I heard when I heard Coach talking.
Yeah, y'all want to spray Weed X on the whole thing. That's gonna kill everything.
Right.
I mean, that ain't the solution here. We have
but with the rose is half dead. It's coming into the winter time. It's just hanging on. You want to keep it. We want to spray it and kill it.
No. We need that rare. We need the rare orchid to put in there. We need to put. It's okay to have a couple old but they're not even old. They're new roses.
He's saying save the stuff that can be saved. Throw away the stuff that ain't worth it. That's your model for life.
Y'all want to hold on to dandelions and daisies.
Nah, right.
Listen,
it's how we operate in our house.
The jury's still out with this team that we got. I'm sorry for you, but the jury's still out. The young guys. The jury's still out. We can't just say these are the guys going to take us to the promised land. We can't say that because there's a lot of question marks that go with this team.
To be honest, the guy that could bring us to championship might be still in middle school.
Yeah,
maybe.
We don't know.
True.
Maybe.
That's right.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, right now, the last game we just had, the 5 guys that started, who's been my personal starting 5 all summer. Okay, I say we keep those 5 guys, and everyone else is replaceable. Who
is the 5?
And I'm not saying and I'm not saying that those 5 guys are going to be our starters. We might get 2 better replacements.
Like who? What are you saying?
Brunson, Cam, RJ, Randall, and Hartenstein. Those are the 5 guys we need to keep.
Well,
everyone else.
Hartenstein, I think Mitch now looks like a real waste of money. He's hurt, and the offense does not look good. The offense.
And he's always in foul trouble. For God's sakes, this guy.
In years with Hartenstein.
No, Hartenstein's 24 years old, and he's got the best defensive rating on the team. So I'm tired of hearing he's bad on defense. I'm tired of hearing that.
He's a piece. He's not a starter. He's a role player. That's what he is.
I think he's all because a guy's a starting NBA center doesn't mean he has to be an all-star, guys. I think he's a starting NBA center in this league, especially as a 24-year-old.
That's not what D'Angelo said, though. I wouldn't presume. At first, I wouldn't presume what D'Angelo say because he's a straight shooter, bro, and D'Angelo will cut your ears off. You know
he said he's not a starter. I think he is a starter.
I just don't think
on this team he should, because if we're not playing defense, we need to look at our offense to win games. And I think with Hartenstein in, his passability and he's able to shoot, open up that whole floor. Everyone had the most efficient night of the season, and in a long time as Knicks with Hartenstein on the floor with no.
My question to you, Coach, is those five players are those 5 players contributors to a championship run?
Yeah, if the other 3 or 4 we get are
if Kevon Looney can start for
level,
the Warriors, Hartenstein could start for the Knicks. I mean, Kevon Looney ain't special.
Look, man,
all
I know is
like
10 minutes of that game
around him. We don't.
And I said this last night. 10 minutes of this game, Hartenstein was out of the game. Okay, he played 38 minutes. And no, listen to him. Listen, for those 10 minutes, Hartenstein was out of the game. We were a minus 22.
Yep.
We were a minus 22.
You want to know why?
Yeah, why?
I'll tell you right now. Hold on. Boston attacked Randall with screens all night, with 17 threes coming after actions involving him defending the pick. The Celtics made 10 of them. So they took 1/3 of their threes with Randall in the action, and they made more than 1/3 of their threes for the game.
Who was defending the 3? Because he's
the initial action, and the breakdown comes after him.
So was he?
It's all Randall's fault again.
It's not all Randall's fault. There's bad communication and there's lazy closeouts. It's just bad communication and lazy closeouts at the same time.
Yeah.
And Coach, I know you brought up Cam.
Who's the group out there with Randall? I'm sorry. Who was on the floor with Randall?
Obi.
Okay.
Obi and them targeting Brunson on pick and rolls as well.
Right. So you basically what they did was take potentially the best defender and screen him and have the rest of the defense close out on 3-pointers. Is that what you're saying?
Either that or they screen Brunson out of the way. And because Brunson's a liability on the pick and roll, if we have terrible communication on the back
why would you screen the worst defender? Why would you screen the worst defender though? If he's the worst defender, wouldn't you rather just have him play defense
because
on the ball?
If you do screen the worst defender, you're getting a mismatch regardless. Like if you screen the worst defender, you're bringing Randall up to guard on the perimeter. Either way, it's a bad outlook. Like it's
you mean
not
the entire personnel grouping? It's not Randall's fault.
It's not Randall's fault per se, but like it's a bad grouping. Like even if you were to switch everything, you probably switch and get Randall on the perimeter. You probably switch and get Obi on the perimeter. In the time that Fournier is in the game, you might switch and get Fournier on the perimeter. And all of these things are things we don't want.
Right.
We don't want.
And that's why Randall
Oh.
and RJ together will never work because the defense. Because I feel as of moment, without a trade or a move, our two best defenders is Cam and Grimes, and both of them need to be in there. But both of them are wings.
But I got to see a lot more.
Grimes is a combo guard.
Yeah, but you're not gonna. What are you gonna do? Put Brunson on the bench, put Grimes the one? Because I feel right now with the defense has been that bad, Grimes and Cam need to be on the floor starting. So that means you've Brunson at the 1, you have one of Cam or Grimes at the 2, RJ at the 3, Randall at the 4, and Hartenstein at the 5. One of Randall and RJ have to be benched or sat if we're going to have any on the defensive end.
Until Grimes is not injured anymore, or how long this injury is going to go on, I can't even put him in the mix.
I don't think it's a personnel thing. It's a scheme problem, guys.
Me and Coach have been saying, Coach, why don't they listen to us say that, bro?
But it's the same
person. Because they just want to bash on RJ and Randall like everyone does, man.
Hey, but Coach, we got to see a little more. I like Cam a lot. I've been saying from the beginning. Got to see a lot more out of Cam. Put him on that list first because we got to see more from him. He's got to get the time to see what he is. I still don't know if he's going to be real.
What he is right now is our best defender, and I don't think.
No, I agree, but I got to see more.
Healthy.
He gets the burn. I'm there.
D'Angelo, let me ask you this. What do you say to people that all summer long and even into last season say that Cam Reddish has a low motor? You remember that narrative? Remember
yeah,
Cam
I know.
Cam Reddish?
No, he doesn't. Yeah, that was wrong. That was wrong.
And he was selfish.
Remember
that was the indictment on him out of college and high school, but that's
he got a bum rattle on that. I don't agree with that at all.
When you got a broken piston or you're missing something in your motor, you're gonna have a low motor. He was injured. That's why his motor was low.
Okay. Yeah, no, he got labeled as that.
Yeah, the reason why I said that is because a lot of Knicks fans came on here and was like, in every trade scenario, they was like, well, just throw in Cam because Cam has a low motor anyway.
Yeah,
right.
So nominate him as a Kevin Knox.
Yeah. So to everybody that says Cam Reddish has a low motor, what I'm saying to you is when you type that stuff, when you make these claims and you're right, you're in the chat like Uncle Freezy, I was right, man. You didn't acknowledge what I said. You didn't acknowledge my statement. But when you're wrong, I can't find you.
You're not in the chat.
Right. Right.
That's life, man. That's what
witness protection.
Right. And so let me. I'm gonna just say this to Dre. Dre,
yep.
if I've ever been wrong about something, do you think I'll admit that I'm wrong?
Yeah, you've done it before. I don't see why not. You're saying that.
I would. D'Angelo, when I'm wrong about something, I'll admit I'm wrong.
No, right? You do it all the time. No, I'm there for you.
And what I'll do is if I'm wrong, I'll even ask for additional information to ensure that I'm on the right line of thinking, right? And so here's the thing with Cam Reddish. If we're wrong about Cam Reddish having a low motor, right? Do we need additional information about Cam? Like, do we need to see more of Cam Reddish to understand who Cam Reddish is as a player?
Yeah.
Do we need a bigger sample size of Cam Reddish?
Offensively, yeah, and I'd like to see him more reps. But what I'm saying is, like, at the beginning of the year, Cam was playing for like his career. There was questions about the motor and the work ethic and stuff, and it wasn't just college; it was coming out of Atlanta too. So what we're saying that's wrong. It's Cam has a role not only on this team but in the league as a top defender. Like I can see it already with him. With a bit more work, he can be an extremely great defender. The issue with Cam is hitting his shots.
Right.
And if he can hit shots, hit an open three, and get to the cup and play great defense, he's a starter on this team.
I think Cam's a starter right now.
I agree, but I think if he hits it all depends when Grimes comes back. Who's playing? If the defense is close and who's hitting the shot, that's who's probably going to get starting. So what I think is if Cam right now because of Grimes' injuries, he's probably going to start. He should.
So the options based on what you said is either RJ at the 2 or Grimes at the 2. Those are the options you just presented. Because if Cam starts, that means RJ's at the 2.
Yeah.
And if Grimes starts, and Grimes hadn't proven anything in this league yet.
No.
But if he starts, then that means RJ at the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Which of y'all are more comfortable with? Gi, what's good, bro? AD, what's good, man?
What's up, everybody? Salute AD, everybody.
How about them Cowboys?
What's up, man? What's up, man?
Dre, D'Angelo. Is D'Angelo in a good
What's up,
mood
brother?
today? Probably not. That was a bad loss the other day. D'Angelo gets to say whatever he wants after that loss.
Thank you. Yeah. Legendary you are. There you go.
Freezy, to answer that question, is the coach Tibbs, or are we like talking going forward in the future? So for me to answer that question.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Like, for me to answer that question, who is the coach going forward? Like, is there a reality where it's Cam and RJ and no Tibbs? Or is Tibbs always in the equation? Because it depends on how these players are being used, to me.
Probably right now.
You should
Think
ask
right now?
that to Joe Madden, because Joe Madden
Oh.
is the one that proposed the scenario.
Well, right now, believe me, I would have had Tibbs fired 6 months ago. But what I'm saying is, realistically, right now, it doesn't look like Tibbs going. So moving forward, as of
Okay.
tonight,
Okay.
like, and we're trying to keep winning games, like what we're doing.
Going forward as of tonight, I think because Cam can play the 3, it'll put RJ at the 2, and Tibbs has a bit of template coaching. Like, if you noticed, the looks that Fournier used to get, RJ gets now. So he's like more engaged on offense, and he's
It's
a high
system.
volume player.
Yeah.
So if he's more engaged on offense, he becomes a little bit more efficient. He's a high volume player rather than sitting in the corner, because that's the role that Cam is taking on now, where he's in the corner a lot more. And I feel like it'll be better offensively and defensively, like as far as a balance attack, for us to go with Cam over Grimes right now. Because Cam has shown a little bit more the ability to guard on the perimeter and guard bigger wings at the same time is kind of more needed. Like, he has a bit more versatility than Grimes does at this current moment. Even though Grimes is a better jump shooter, I feel like even the net rating shows, like, when RJ is next to Cam, they play a lot better, like a ton better.
And the last 3.5 games, RJ Barrett has been an efficient player, scoring the ball.
Offensively.
Offensively. Yeah, and his turnovers obviously got to be better. Obviously. But I'm talking about shooting. His shooting percentage, he's been efficient the last 3.5 games.
One player on the New York Knicks, other than maybe Mitch, that is playing an ounce of defense. It's so atrocious what we're seeing. And
What?
So
you hadn't seen Cam Reddish?
No, Cam. I apologize.
And he's talking about RJ, right?
Oh,
I'm glad you stopped. Cam Reddish is earning his minutes, and I don't know what y'all saying that. No. Cam gets his ass in the passing lanes. He gets that 7'1" wingspan, and he just sticks it out there. He's got his hands on. I apologize, Cam. Please forgive me, Cam.
No, don't apologize.
The starting five is not playing an ounce of defense. And I got to be careful. I'm going to go on mute because I want to hear some other people after this. But while Jalen Brunson has got our offense firing on all cylinders, I think everybody looks better because he is a defensive liability.
Okay.
Yes, he is.
And I also think we should be starting Tony Pollard instead of Ezekiel Elliott.
Yes, the Cowboys know that. The Cowboys are going to cut Zeke once they get a chance.
Chicago fan.
No, man, I'm a Jets fan. You know the Jets beat Buffalo.
You're not no Jets fan. Stop it. Get out of here,
bro. New York Sack Exchange. Bro, I have an Al Toon jersey, bro. I remember Wesley Walls and Freeman McNeil.
Wesley Walker.
First of all, Wesley Walls never played for the Jets. All right, get it together.
He named Wesley Walker.
My mic cut out. I said Wesley Walker.
Salute,
Joe
gentlemen.
Yeah.
Salute, gentlemen. GI.
What's up, AD?
Sean Green.
I have to disagree with you, sir. Cam has played. Cam has played some okay defense, but all you gotta do is turn on the highlights from the Boston game the other night. He's in every one of them catching up behind.
Right.
He was him, and I'm not picking on him because everybody against Boston. Sucked. I'm a Cam guy. I'm one of the persons that was saying that Cam needed to play, but I heard somebody say we don't have a personnel problem. Really? They not have a personnel problem? They have more than a personal problem. But anyway, I just want to hop on for a couple minutes, gentlemen.
You just want to jump on because you want to stake claim to being a star of the network. I'm a
troll.
I'm a top 10. I'm a top 10 star on Florence Tears. I'm like 9th. I'm hoping one day to be 7th.
I don't have any ranking. I'm okay with that.
He's got a show. Hey, he's one of the MVPs. He's got a show.
He's very humble. He's very, very humble.
Oh, I love AD.
Hey, me and Gi are struggling here just to get in the top 10, bro.
Well, that humble crap is why we haven't won a championship in going on 50 years.
There you go. Hey, I'm the Jalen Brunson of the show.
What, you don't play defense?
I come in here, I start barking at some old hats, and everyone gets mad at me. Like, who are you? You just got here.
You've been here longer than JB.
And all we gotta do is pick you, and you're irrelevant on the network. I got it.
Bim, that's how I feel every day, Gi.
What's that?
That's exactly how I feel every day. I'm ranked 14th. One day I'll be top 10.
Stop. Whatever, bro. You're the reason why we all here, bro. Don't get that twisted.
Free Keith, where you at? We ain't heard Free Keith yell in like 2 weeks.
I
ain't heard Free Keith yell in like 2 weeks, bro.
That's because he's in secret meetings with the Garden Brat. The head honchos of the Garden. He's telling him. He's patting Leon on the back. Leon, you're doing a great job, man, Leon.
Believe in this team. We have talent, and now we're losing games. We can't see Keith.
Yeah, I know.
Yo, shout out to Keith though. I love Keith. I know I haven't seen him in a while.
Love Keith. Keith's the man.
Yeah, man.
Well, in the end, for me, like I said, I try to see things glad because I have that right. Okay, I've been a Knicks fan long enough to see this situation in any color glasses I want: rose-colored, orange-colored, blue-colored, glass half full. I have that right. So
you can't watch it with a blindfold on. But
no, it's not a blindfold. Hey, I'm the one that opened the show saying we need to get rid of Tibbs, and there's 5 players I want to get rid of. That's not saying things are all hunky-dory. All right. Okay? Don't get it twisted. That's not my. See, that's another thing we got to get.
I'm joking, bro.
But look, bro, hey, that's the other thing we need to start learning. Coach Malpica has never gotten hostile or angry or yelled on this show yet.
I know.
I don't know how some of y'all have been raised, okay? Yeah. But y'all have not heard me yell because you would hear clipping going on in my mic. And all that. So anybody that's in this that's not used to an animated coach or an animated Italian, okay? I have not yelled at or disrespected any of y'all yet in this chat.
Yo, you got to clip that for you.
Italian too.
Okay, I have never yelled or disrespected another man on this show yet. So anyone in the chat that says I yell or I'm hostile or need to fix my blood pressure, I have never ever yelled on the show yet. Trust me.
You haven't had to yell.
The wrong glasses.
You haven't had to yell because you have not had the debate with Hoodie Kev for months on end. So that's you only had one debate.
I saw it. I almost did with him.
Yeah, right. I watched.
It's just your mic's real
loud. I come every night looking for.
Yeah, I'll do this.
Because he'll give that Blanche Tears that shot in the arm we need, right? Because it's been too friendly around here, right?
Yeah.
We also haven't met Cornerstone Kev. So
oh god,
there was some cats here that you had to yell to get your point across.
Yeah.
Old picnic shirt Kev.
Maybe because
Coach yells at me.
Coach, you getting emotional? Look at Coach getting emotional.
Calm down, Coach. Take it easy, Coach. I'm not going to give you the Heimlich.
I'm with GI right now.
I'm supposed to
whack you right on the back.
Yo, yeah,
I'm getting my midday head right, bro.
Yeah, Cornerstone Kev will come give you.
Raise your arms, coach. It'll stop.
Yeah, yeah. How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, there you go.
Yo, since when are we smoking blunts on the show?
This is tobacco. It is tobacco. It is tobacco. It's tobacco.
It's tobacco because we don't want.
Hey, I got a car that's legal for me, so.
Yeah.
Listen to me, Joe Maiden.
Yeah.
Joe Maiden. I live in the state of New Jersey. We do this freely. Out right in front of the police officers. We do this.
Oh, we do it in New York too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that. We just get fined though.
Country now.
Yeah. Yeah, and so for the YouTube police, YouTube love policing me. YouTube, cut it out, YouTube. One of the reasons why we're not big like Knicks fan TV. You know what I'm saying? YouTube likes policing us.
If YouTube wants to be big like streamers like Twitch. Twitch has people smoking on there all the time.
Yeah,
you gotta pay the right people.
The terms of stuff are different though. I stream them both. Every
I'm
show.
scared of Knicks fan TV, like I'm scared of MSG to offend them because I don't want to get kicked out of nothing. But you better know. You better know. They blowing up like that because they got themselves into the guard and met somebody. They are the YouTube extension of MSG. Trust me, they got some hand ups. Trust me. It's all good.
Yep, there you go
for them.
But we have the ghetto intellect, and we don't rock with that.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, and I'm not there, bro. When I first came to y'all, I was lost in the dark. I was looking for a home. I'm like, man, and I'm going on YouTube, all right, and I'm just looking at just trash upon trash of the same old business, Knicks stuff.
And people reading box scores.
I'm like, bro, is this ESPN New York? Like, what is this? Deportes, like whatever the New York version of ESPN is for Knicks coverage. And like these dudes are supposed to be Knicks fans. They're like mispronouncing names and don't know like the whole start lineup. I'm like, what is going on around here?
What is going on around
And then I stumbled upon Blorange Tears.
Uncle Freeze.
I'm like, what's the word Blorange?
Listen, check it out. I found Knicks Fan TV, one of the first YouTube groups I found, right? And the day I found them, they were interviewing in the off season, and he had already retired, Raymond Felton. In the in the chat, I typed, "Hey Raymond, do you ever think if you came to camp in shape, do you think you would have had a Yo, they blocked me. Yo, they blocked me and kicked me out the chat.
Oh yeah, come on.
Said,
True church, man.
I would have brought you on the panel.
They down with the get down. And I kept watching. I was like, oh yeah, this is like MSG. You can't ask no open questions in here, man. This is like, and I left them alone. I never went back in another chat after that.
And so I just wanted to say, and on a note, man, as far as they go, man, production quality dope, man. They put out a dope quality product and all of that stuff, man. Give it to them. Give it to them for that, man. But as far as let's not turn this into beating up fellow brothers. Yeah. Because what I was gonna say though, as far as what Lawrence Tears does, is this, and it was always gonna be that, and we ain't changing. I'd rather quit doing it first. Is we're gonna have
I would say this.
We're gonna have a. Lawrence Tears is a channel where people always cut people off. That's what we do. We're the channel that always cut people off, bro.
Prone to doing that.
Talking, that's what we. That's in our charter. Yeah, it don't matter what somebody's saying. We're gonna cut them off. But what I'm saying, what I'm saying is we always gonna be the place where fans are gonna come, legit smart individuals gonna come with their dope takes, and we're gonna talk about it, even if we don't agree. My bad, AD.
No, that's all right, fam. I was just gonna say that just to piggyback on what GI said. I remember when Derek Harper, I think first or second time he came in, and I was in their chat, and I reminded Derek because I didn't like the first time he came on the show, he took shots at Ewing.
Yep.
You know, he took unfair, unnecessary shots at Young, and I'm like, hold on.
What did he say?
You know, especially when I was still in my passionate mode, I'm like, I'm still one of those guys that still remembers and watch Game 3 when you gave up back-to-back threes to Sam Cassell, which lost them the game, which lost them home court advantage. And I typed it in. I typed it in the chat. I'm like, dude, you can't just go at the guard like that, the person who has the most on his shoulders, and this is 20 some odd years later, and you're still upset. You know what I'm saying? Like, let it go. So just with GI, I remember that, and I let him know. Like, dude, like some of us, we still remember.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And having the guard
and to piggyback on Selly's point earlier about Knicks fans, the reason why I love Knicks fans is we ain't starstruck, okay? We ain't gonna pander to nobody, and that's the problem I got with the Knicks other fan shows.
To Carmelo.
No, I'm saying they're pandering to, like, because they get on your show, you're all like, Mr. Nice with them. We're gonna hold all of our stars accountable.
That's one thing about New Yorkers.
Melo wanted to be a Knick. That was exciting for us. He wanted to be a Knick, and we wanted him. That was no problem.
Right. Hey, Wacko, thank you for the generous contribution. Wacko says, cut off King on Blar's Tears. Knicks fan. That's what we do, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Say, sometimes we cut each other off to help each other.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah.
Don't say that next thing.
Because I don't like him.
Yeah, I cut him off because I like him. I don't want him to dig himself in a bigger hole.
Yeah, man. Hey, so the game will be on tonight, Coach. You jumping on the live stream? You hanging out?
Hell yeah, I'm here.
Out? Okay. All right.
If I'm not working at night, but I'm here, bro. Y'all are my extended family.
Okay. Kyrie's not going to play in the NBA again.
That fights a lot.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's an assumption.
You know that, D'Angelo, with the Italian.
That's what the GM says. The
there you go,
GM
brother.
says Kyrie's not going to play in the NBA again.
Yeah, well, he says he thinks.
Well, F you, then I love you. Right? Next sentence.
So
hey, y'all. So I want to say this. You want to say this thing real quick. Just y'all make sure. So we got other joints, man. Make sure y'all check out Old School Knicks Sunday mornings at 11.
Hell yeah,
make sure you check out Knicks Freestyle. A very, very, very underrated 90 minutes. Don't forget about Knicks Freestyle with myself and GI and Free Keith. On that joint is very different than everything else that you'll be watching, because when there's a difficult topic, we're not gonna be afraid to break that thing down and speak truth to power on Knicks Freestyle. It's the reason why we call it the freestyle joint is because all the topics that people are afraid to touch, Knicks Freestyle is gonna touch it, put their paws on it. You know what I'm saying? Free Keith is probably somewhere choosing between his winner Maybach and his winner Rolls. He's somewhere doing that right now, but that's my man. Don't forget about them. And me and Coach basically rock every day. Coach, how many times a day we generally come on the live stream, bro? Two times for sure.
I mean,
two
like
times
I said,
for sure, 3 times on game night.
Yeah, I work 3 or 4 12-hour shifts a week at night. Sometimes I've been trying to keep it to only 3. I ain't trying to live to work.
Yeah.
But the other 4 days, I'm with y'all.
And so
all day if I got to be
all day. And me and Dre and I and Sally are working on getting the Discord up so that we can get calls to come into the channel. So we're trying to grow the Discord so that we can take calls, right? So it's a bunch of other stuff. We're trying to grow the Discord family. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff going on. I'm always working on stuff, animations, production, trying to grow the Lawrence Tears thing so that we can give Knicks fans a real Knicks fan experience. Because a lot of times what you guys get is box score reading or copycat narratives. Like you'll see one narrative go from one to the other to the other to the other, like Fire Tom Thibodeau. That's a thing that'll go around Knicks universe. We don't want to do that. We want to talk about why are we firing Tibbs.
Yeah, we ain't trying to be clickbait here.
Yeah. No, I ain't gonna do that. I'd rather have smart conversations. It's the reason why me and G.I. clicked from day one. Me and G.I. clicked from day one because I'm going to challenge him intellectually, right? And if he was afraid of being challenged, he wouldn't be here. And he going to challenge me too. And the day he come at me like with some soft landing, I'm going to tell him from go, hey, man, don't be coming at me with no soft landing. Don't play me like that.
No,
and I do the same thing with G.I. You know,
I got to keep it. I got to keep it a stack.
Right.
When I see guys get close to Freezy and start getting their own situation, I say, are they talking to Freezy behind the scenes? Because if they are, he better be talking to them the way he talked to me, because he talks to me like, yo, G.I., I need you to bring more. I need you to stay focused on the topic. I need you to stay out the chat. Don't be arguing with the. I'm like, yo, bro.
Coach, that sound familiar, Coach? That sound familiar, Coach?
Hell yeah, this dude.
Yeah, I mean, I told Hardwell the other day. I told Hardwell and Shotgunner right on the live stream. I was like, yo, y'all coming in for soft landings, bro. Y'all be yourself. What the hell y'all scared of? You know what I'm saying? And, yo, I think Hardwell, and Hardwell is my brother. I love Hardwell, bro. I love Hardwell. I love Shotgunner, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I do that out of love and respect. But guys, listen, I got to get out of here. We got to prepare for the joints coming up. I got some work to do. I got portfolios and stuff that I got to kind of at least lay my eyes on before the game come on, because once the game come on, I ain't doing nothing else.
Well, we in trouble. 3 games. Don't forget 3 games in 4 days. That's a tough call. It's a tough call.
Yeah, man. That's gonna be. They're still against winnable teams, so we got to find a way to do it.
We got to find.
What does everyone think before we? I don't want to start a whole new discussion before we leave, but I think we need 4 out of 5 of these games, bro.
Right.
4 out of these next 5.
Got Minnesota tonight.
Yeah. One day at a time. I'm gonna get out of here, so that we can get ready for this game. I'll be sending the link around and all that stuff. Appreciate everybody. D'Angelo, it's good to see you, brother.
See you guys.
Yeah, man.
Hey, and you owe me a meal. I'm gonna try to make it up to the city, right?
Better. Well, you'll be taken care of. You'll be taken care of. I over told the invitation's still there.
Pasta Vajou.
You know.
I know.
Everything, bro.
Trust me.
Freezy's a vegetarian.
No, not anymore, right?
Coach, the doctor snatched me off that.
Oh, so you sneaking meats?
Well, pause. Let's get out of here for this thing. All right, y'all.